So this trainers talk is a very unique contest which is being part of this trainer summit. So we have two contests which is happening today. One is the trainers talk, wherein the individual trainers, they come and make a presentation for 4 minutes, total of 5 minutes. A short introduction of them would be given, and then they make a presentation for 4 minutes. The presentation will be on their subject area of expertise, and no other personal details or profiles are allowed. This is a rule. I mean, there will be a bell after 4 minutes, and you should not exceed that. That's very important. And we have around 16 contestants who are doing a trainers talk today. And there would be best trainer talks. 3 best trainer talks would be declared tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow at the valedictory session. So for the judging the trainers talk, we have an eminent panel of jury. We have Mr. Shamim Rafiq. Shamim ji. Mr. Shamim Rafiq, he is a celebrated trainer in Kerala. He's a corporate coach, winner in New Training Consulting. And we also have Mr. Vipin Roldent. He is a psychologist by profession. He works for Sunrise Hospital, as well as he runs a training company called Corporata. So Vipin is again a celebrity. He comes in the TVs and on screen. And we also have Miss Diana. Diana will be joining very soon. I think she is having her food. All 3 of them would be actually giving their feedback and a small kind of an review end of the program today. So today's afternoon is like this. We are starting off with 4 trainer talks, and then we have the main session for the afternoon, which is on training stories in art and culture. So we have all the panelists already ready here. So we'll quickly go into the trainers talk. So first we have on stage trainer Bindu Unitan. Please give a good motivation to the trainers. She has more than 10 years of experience in sales training, sales and marketing, branding, logistics, and she also does soft skill training. And she is a university rank holder in Madurai Kamaraj University and is currently working at School of Communication Management Sciences Studies, SCMS at Cochin. And she is an accredited management teacher as well. The topic for her today is very interesting. She's going to talk about storytelling. Over to you, Bindu.
Thank you. I did not have a slide intentionally, but thank you for this. At least you all will be able to see who I am. This is tough. I'm a teacher. I have been teaching marketing all these years, and she's missed out that I've actually worked in industry. I worked in a company called Jet Airways, and I have flown. Not planes, but people. I worked as an air hostess for 2.5 years. I enjoyed flying, and then I decided that it's not going anywhere. My plane is not going anywhere, and I cannot crash land. So I got to plan my career, and fortunately, that's going to be also the topic, which is transformation. I got transformed. I got transformed by my trainer in Jet Airways. And how did he transform me? He transformed me through storytelling. He told me about himself, how he changed his course of career path, how he decided to become an entrepreneur, and how he trained people there, how he mentored people there. And the technique that he adopted was storytelling. Now that's it. Storytelling. Before I decided what is the topic that I have to be talking about, I usually have these conversations with my son. He's my best guide. And you might be wondering how old he is. He's only 11, but he gives me excellent advice. I told him, what do you think I should be talking about? I'm doing this for the first time. I'm doing a talk for the first time, right? I mean, yeah, of course it's going to be in the area, but then something else which I always wanted to do, I'm doing it for the first time. My son said, Amma, you know what? I hate to go to school. I dread this thought every morning that he needs to be wearing that uniform, the prison uniform. Where is Bala sir? Right, he got to be wearing that uniform, carrying that heavy backpack, that's what he calls it, and he has to go to school. He has to listen to all the instructions, and like he said, listen. And what he told me was, Amma, teachers talk too much. Yeah, and then I said, what do you want to do then? He said, all I want to do is play. I said, okay, you cannot keep playing. You know what happens when Jack keeps playing? He ends up nowhere. So he said, what else can I do? Then he said, why don't they tell us stories? Then I thought, yeah, I had the eureka moment. I said, fine. Now that's going to be my topic. Now, all of us love listening to stories. Just now I was talking to my friend here. He was telling, oh, you're going to talk about storytelling. All of us love listening to stories from back when we were small kids, when we were with our grandparents and they told us stories. And it still is relevant. Yeah, the stories that they told us, the story that we have been listening to since morning. One word which you found being repeated again and again and again was stories. Yeah, everybody said, what's the story? So what I'm trying to say is that as trainers, why are we missing out? Yeah? There's so much of value addition that I feel we can have as stories which can sell you immediately. Because where does it go? It reaches the emotions of the people. It relates to the people very well. Yeah? So thank you very much. What I would like to tell you is, let's sell ourselves through stories. Thank you.
Certificate as well as a memento for Bindu. I'm handing it over to her. Thanks. Okay. Now, next, I'm going to invite Mr. Shankar Vishwanathan. Shankar is a chartered accountant. He's a certified train-the-trainer, certified soft skill trainer, as well as he has over 29 years of local and international experience from various multinational companies. He's a certified trainer from National Accreditation Board for Education and Training in India, as well as the Scottish Qualifications Authority. So, and he does a lot of programs for MBAs, executive MBA, and he has also got a scholarship from SP Jain Institute of Management Research, Mumbai, a leading B school in India. So, over to you, Mr. Shankar.
Respected judges and my dear friends, Albert Einstein said that a brain that opens to a new idea does not revert to its original size. Learning, as we have been seeing, is a continuous process. We learn from every possible occasion, whether it is school, college, institutes, universities, seminars like this, everywhere we learn. But today I'm going to talk to you about lessons that we get from an unusual guru, a driver. Obviously, a driver is not invited to seminars like this, so it's my duty to bring it to you. So the first lesson that this gentleman told me was that, could we have the first lesson, please? The first lesson. Next slide. Yeah. He says that getting a driving license does not make you an expert driver. And isn't that true? Students, just think, just by getting an MBA or a CA degree, would you become an expert in your field? It doesn't. You'll have to work hard. You'll have to toil. It's after putting in 30 years of work that people get to come and stand at this podium and speak. So remember that getting a license is only a permit to enter into the field. The second lesson that he said was that the real life is very different from the classroom. He learned his driving in a car. Whereas he got a tempo to drive. And he said, leave alone driving the tempo, I couldn't even start it because it was that different. So that was the second lesson. The third lesson, he says, is slog. Get your hands dirty. You don't get to do things by sitting in the air-conditioned room. Ask a marketing professional and he will tell you that they learned the marketing by selling colas and soaps in the smaller towns, not sitting in air-conditioned offices. So slog, get your hands dirty. The fourth lesson is, in your early life, it's important what you learn, not what you earn. If you get a good boss, stick with him because he will give you those invaluable lessons. His boss allowed him to bang the car a few times and the dents got repaired, but those lessons got etched in his brain. And the last lesson that he says is that don't worry about the cars. You drive well and the good cars will come your way. Now, he always wanted to drive the BMWs and the Mercs. Ultimately, after about 15 years, he got it. Now, who am I talking about? This gentleman, bespectacled, respected, worked in an MNC for almost 25 years, drove the car of Mr. Prakash Iyer. His name is Karunan. The driver is Karunan. And Prakash Iyer, as you all know, is a great motivational speaker, author, writer. He is my heartfelt mentor. And this is a small tribute. I read this in a blog, and I thought Karunan will never come to this stage. So I must tell you this. Lastly, I would want to end this by saying that a learning that does not produce a change is like a parachute that doesn't open when needed. Keep learning, keep sharing, because whatever you learn, you must share. Without that, it is useless. Keep learning, keep sharing. Thank you one and all for giving me this opportunity to speak here. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shankar. So I request Shana Susan, she's our Master of Ceremony for the day. She will be handing over the certificate and memento to Shankar. Wish you all the best, Shankar. So now, again, we are going to get into the panel, the session of the day. We are listening to two trainers talk. The next of the trainers talk will be after this. So for it, Shana.
Our next session is titled Training in Arts and Culture, Inspiring Individuals. We have three speakers, Mr. Vishnu Nair, IAS Sub-Collector, Tirunelveli, Ms. Malati Menon, founder and choreographer, Parvanendu School of Tiruvadara, and Ms. Liji Abraham, yoga trainer. A native of Kochi and an alumni of Chinmaya Vidyalaya Vadadala, Mr. Vishnu graduated from NIT Trichy and went on to work for an MNC in Chicago. He returned to Kerala, leaving his techie career, and gave a shot at the Indian Civil Service examination. Mr. Vishnu Venugopal, an IAS officer, is currently the sub-collector and sub-divisional magistrate of Chiran Mahadevi in Tirunelveli. He was selected for the prestigious and challenging Prime Minister's Rural Development Fellowship under the Ministry of Rural Development, Government of India, to work for poverty alleviation and social development in Naxal-affected areas of Odisha. Meanwhile, he cleared the civil service exam in 2012 with an All India rank 34 in the very first attempt and opted for the IAS. As sub-collector, he spearheaded various e-governance initiatives, which includes launch of more than 300 common service centers in Tirunelveli for online petitions by tapping existing infrastructure of agricultural cooperative banks. The pilot online mutation of land titles was successfully launched, which was later scaled to district and state level. Prepared the first district irrigation plan for Tirunelveli under the PM's flagship irrigation scheme, PM-KSY. His efforts to improve the livelihood means of socially and economically backward Nari Kuravar community have been widely appreciated. He was awarded the Outstanding Public Service Medal by District Collector Tirunelveli on Independence Day 2016. He is also the recipient of Rotary International Excellence Award 2016 by Rotary International Trivandrum. His topic for the day is Building Employable Community, the Gypsy Story. Over to you, sir.
So very warm good afternoon to all of you. It's a very tough task after lunch, a sumptuous lunch, and then to get the attention of, thank you. So very warm good afternoon to you all. I'm not going to strictly restrict my talk to the Gypsy community alone. I want the entire audience to think about the development, the narrative of development in this country, okay? So it's more of an interactive talk. All of you are free to interrupt me, disrupt me, and free to ask any kind of questions, okay? You're not the usual captive audience that we have in the government. You're free to disrupt me at any point of time. Thank you. Yeah, so I basically work as a sub-collector and sub-divisional magistrate of a very, very remote place called Chiran Mahadevi in Tirunelveli district. If you talk about the size, it would be like something like 3 districts of Kerala put together would be my division. That's the scale at which I work. And that's part of the Western Ghats belt. Yeah, so let's talk about the role of the state. Which is the most hated organization in the world? Any guesses? Which is the most hated organization in the world? Government. Okay, I'm representing the most hated organization in the world in front of you. Okay, Yeah, it must be the state, because nobody says that I hate Microsoft or I hate Google. Nobody talks about that I hate an organization. It's always the government. But what is the role of the government? We keep criticizing, we keep cribbing that the government does not do this, government doesn't do that. But let me just try to bring in a discourse or a narrative as to what exactly like people like me do in the government. You think we are all babus sitting and signing files? Yes or no? I think it's a yes. Okay, let's see. After the presentation, I hope you guys say no. Okay. Yeah. So a quick bit of theory. I couldn't avoid this. I'll get into the field part a bit later. The scope of state functions. Primarily, the role of the state is to enforce property rights, law and order, and public health. Then we have the intermediate functions, regulatory role, social entrance, and then you have the activist functions, industrial policy, land reforms, and so on and so forth. Okay. And then there's the strength of state institutions, which is primarily defense, financial regulation, health, etc. Okay, if you map the quadrants of strength of state institutions and scope of state functions, which countries would fall in quadrant 1? Any idea? Which have got strong institutions, but scope of state functions are very limited. Any idea? USA? Will US fall in quadrant 1? They've got strong institutions, okay. Okay, let's see which are the states. USA and Japan would fall under that category. And then you would have France and China, Turkey, Brazil, Sierra Leone and other African countries in the lower belt where they have the scope of institutions as well as strength are pretty low. Where does India fall? Where does India fall in this matrix? Any idea? Somewhere in between? Where we are developing, we are moving towards increasing the scope of institutions as well as the strength. Okay, so basically we've got 4 reform paths. We could move to quadrant 1 to 3, 3 to 1, 4 to 1. We've got all the options. Now, let's come to one more theoretical part. Bureaucracy or democracy, which one would you prefer? Would you prefer a very bureaucratic state or you would prefer an absolute democratic state? Absolutely democratic. Okay, you hate people like me running the show. Okay, fine. Let's keep that in mind. I'll get to the, let's see if your discourse changes a bit. And bureaucracy, like all of you think, efficiency and bureaucracy run parallel to each other, don't meet each other. Now I'm self-criticizing myself. It's okay. Yeah. IRCTC, are you all proud of this organization? Indian Railways? Okay, just now you said you detest bureaucracy. You're proud of IRCTC. Thank you for that. Are you all proud of the passport, the Ministry of External Affairs, the Passport Seva Kendra? Maybe a couple of years or maybe 10 years back, you need to bribe and get a passport. Today you don't need to bribe to get a passport. It's pretty much evident to everyone. Are you all proud of the income tax department? The entrepreneurs may not be very fond of this department. Okay, the CEOs out here may not be very fond of this department, but all said and done, it's a very efficient department by usual standards in the government. Election Commission of India, are you all proud of it? Okay, you're all proud of it. So what happens? We are able to run top quality institutions. Election Commission of India is probably one of the unique organizations, and there's no other human resource management exercise like the Indian elections. I've conducted 2 elections, the 2014 Parliament elections, and then the 2016 Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly as a returning officer. The returning officer is the highest post that you hold in a constituency. So that's the scale at which we work. 814 million voters, 9 lakh polling stations, mammoth exercise, pinpoint precision. 6 Sigma, 8 Sigma, I don't know, whatever Sigma you put into, absolutely flawless, because any flaw in the election process, that's it, my job is gone. That is the precision at which the Election Commission of India functions. But in spite of all this, why do you say that the government is the most hated organization in the world? Okay, it's time people like me come out and talk what is it that we do in the government. Probably there's no two-way dialogue happening. It's all perception and myth-based understanding that we have of the government. So I'm here to dispel those myths and plus put in my field experiences of whatever I've done over the last 4 years in the government. So in all these experiences, which you said, you're all proud of IRCTC, you're all proud of Election Commission, the fundamental logic that all of you have is that e-governance equal to good governance. The moment you bring in massive digitization, the moment you bring in massive computerization, that is supposed to be kind of good governance. Let's see if it is true or false, or is it midway truth. Yeah, so when I joined, I just Googled, where am I going to? Tirunelveli. This is the first heading, the Hindu heading that came up in the search. Nearly 100 murders in Tirunelveli and Tuticorin, 25 casteist overtones. Kannur is not a match for my, my division. Tamil Nadu's cast fields in 1 year, 100 deaths. This was the place that I was going to. Born and brought up in Cochin, did my engineering in Tamil Nadu. That's the only connection that I have with Tamil Nadu, but still going to a place where, this is the kind of setup that I was going to work in. I was naturally quite petrified. Even this photograph is from the Indian Express. It's not photoshopped. I'll just go through one simple example where I had to, just to put the setting right in the framework in which people like me function. There was a pond, and last year we had abundant rains. You would all have read about the Chennai floods. We had a bountiful rainfall last year. So there was this pond which got filled after 10 years. And there was this community X and community Y fighting for the fishing rights for the pond. Community X said, look, this time the fishes have all grown up. Those are my fishes. The Y community said, no, it's mine. They started fighting. Then the state intelligence gave an alert that if you don't do something, it's going to lead to massive outbreak of violence, and both the communities are going to clash. It will lead to something like a Brazil-Argentina score, 2-1, 1-2, and this will go on. That was the kind of situation it was in. And yes, what can be done? I'm not going into the intricacy of what we actually did, but we kind of figured out a way out by taking the fish, and we auctioned it. The government auctioned it by not giving it to either X or Y. This is just a primer to understand the society which we live in. And these are some of the realities like people like me face every day. A naked, mentally ill woman, rotting wounds roaming in your bus stand. What do? You can't bring in e-governance or digitization in cases like this. While inspecting a government school, most of the poor students in Tamil Nadu study in government schools, you told that this kid has suddenly stopped learning. What do? You can't bring in digitization or computerization here. An HIV orphan with her grandparents come to you, her uncles are refusing her inheritance, saying anyway she's going to die. Why do you want to, we don't know whether she's HIV positive or negative. Why do you want to give the land to her? A 23-year-old youth has had his legs amputated after a road accident. He wants your help. What next? These are the settings in which we work, where efficiency and bureaucracy, the slides may not cross paths, but yeah, we do find solutions for cases like this. Yeah, now let me get to the ultra-million-dollar question. Is the government innovative? Any question? Any answers for that? Is the government innovative? Yes. Okay, slightly you're coming towards my side. Thank you. Okay, government is innovative. Does this photograph resemble was it shot in India or is it some African country? There's a clue in the photograph itself. It's Tamil. Okay, so it's shot in Tamil Nadu. It's shot in Tirunelveli. Do you expect this kind of thing to happen in India? This is not what we are looking at, right? This was shot. This child died 5 days after this photograph was shot. We tried our best. We couldn't save the child. It was high order malnutrition. Yeah. Now we come to the story of the Narikuravas. Narikuravas is a community which has got. They are basically links with the Romanian gypsies. The gypsies basically come from Romania. The original genetic links come from Romania, and they have been found to have genetic links with Romania. They have a very nomadic lifestyle. Earlier they were hunters, and during the British period, they were classified as criminal tribes. Post-independence, the government of India decriminalized, and now they are denotified tribes, which means they are no more branded as criminal tribes. And then there is prevalence of alcoholism and child marriage. Everything that you would associate with the primitive stage of development in a society is prevalent in this particular community. How much time do I have, Chandra? Another 5 minutes. Okay, I'm spot on. I'll finish it in 5 minutes. So these are like a more anonymous. These are all real-time photographs which we took 2 years back. They were roaming around here and there in the bus stands. They used to sell this pasimale. Those of you who have gone to Shabarimala would have seen that. They sell this cheap quality bead jewelry which is sold for around 5 to 10 rupees, and that's their basic livelihood. And they didn't have houses. They were having very makeshift houses. You can find them even in Cochin also. Whenever there's a big trade fair going on, the Narikuravar community from various parts of Tamil Nadu and Andhra and Karnataka, they come to sell their beads. Yeah, so this is one of the child trying to, they eat raw birds. They catch the bird and then they eat it raw. Even the children eat raw meat of birds. Still there is high order resistance that they have towards any kind of diseases. And yeah, so yeah, the great state intervenes. What did we do? It's not me, it's not my work alone, I'm representing the government. From an anonymous community to a known, respectable, dignified society, we gave them the identity. The first identity is, of course, land. You need to their nomadic lifestyle. Only if you pertain them to a particular land can you tell them that I belong to this land. We gave them free house site, and mind you, all this with zero corruption, okay? Zero corruption. And we gave them whatever entitlements that the government could give, ration shop, ration cards, Aadhaar, they voted for the first time in the 2014 parliament elections, and they started building their own houses with full funding from the government. This is the community center, toilets, everything, and then we had a team from NIFT Chennai, where we gave them advanced training in bead making, and they figured out that world-class jewelry, they could produce world-class jewelry in a matter of minutes. The faculty and the students from NIFT were surprised. Whatever that you see in your Fab India shops and all those trendy designer jewelry, they could produce that in a matter of minutes. That was the kind of skill, raw skill that they had. The only thing that they didn't know what the markets needed. Our job was pretty simple. Raw talent, train them. We gave them, this was one of the coverage that we had in the Indian Express in Tirunelveli, where after 2 months of intensive training with support from Government of India and Government of Tamil Nadu put together, we gave them all the toolkits. They started making paper jewelry, they started making different kinds of jewelry, and even we had a lady from Germany, she came down and she said, I'm going to procure these jewelry. That's the kind of market that they had. And we recognized them as artisans, basically. They were artisans. They were given the artisan cards accredited artisan cards by Government of India. Now they are holding exhibitions regularly, and hopefully by next year they would be going to the Pragati Maidan in Delhi, and hopefully, thanks. So many of you have heard of the Pragati Maidan exhibition. It's India's #1 exhibition in Pragati Maidan. Hopefully, we are trying to get an appointment with the Honorable President of India, so that these women artisans could actually meet the President of India and maybe can brief the President on the same. So what do? We had seed capital. This is usual business stuff that you would keep hearing, the seed capital, SSG formation, marketing and branding support. We still getting the support from IIT Madras, who are trying to help us with the forward and backward market linkages. I'm not used to using the terminologies of business often in the government, but still, yeah. So these are the outcomes. Okay, now we come to the anticlimax. 2 minutes, Chandra. 2 minutes. Now we come to the anticlimax. Is it all well? All is well? No, all is not well. Now comes the anticlimax. Okay, I thought as a sub-collector, wow, I did a great job. Everything was fine. Everything was in order. I've developed a society from abject poverty of social and economic backwardness to great, and my job is done. No, now comes the anticlimax. I'll tell you the anticlimax. Enter politics. There was something called elite capture. Okay, this happens in all societies. This is very, very relevant even in your business and entrepreneurial ecosystem. The moment you start, the government starts active intervention or activist interventions in the society, there happens a very elite group within a particular community or a society that captures all the benefits. The same thing happened. The first Narikuravar man to contest for elections, this man is Pandidurai. It's a good thing. Entering politics is a good thing. But then, what happens? This guy is Pandidurai, this guy is Veera. Can you see the difference? Pandidurai is in white and white. He's become a politician already. The other guy, Veera, who did not get the benefits of the government as much as Pandidurai had tried to get it, a little off. So what we eventually saw was what I thought, or what the government thought, was an activist, good-intentioned interventions finally brought out something called the class stratification in the society, an unintended negative externality in economic terms, negative externality of purely activist kind of government functions. So what we think is development may not be the ultimate outcome of development. I leave it there. Every story has an ending, but in life, every ending is a new beginning. Thank you once again for the National Training Summit for inviting me here. It's been a pleasure. This is not often. It's my day off. So events like this are quite stress-free for me. So I thank Chandravardhana for inviting me here. Thank you all. Thank you.
Vishnu, I'm not sure I've changed my opinion of the government, but I definitely want to.
You better change it now.
But I want to be Facebook friends with you.
Sure.
All right. So to confer the memento to him, I request Mr. Jose P. Philip to please come forward.
I think everybody has to stay.
We have 2 more guest speakers, but before that, we will continue with trainer talks.
Next trainer talk on stage is Mr. Rangraj Bhattacharya. He is going to talk about using art for training. Rangraj Bhattacharya he has started a company called VMove Solutions, which is into redefining the learning at corporates and educational institutions using the principles and science of theatre. Theatre-based training is looked upon as a trendsetter with companies looking to experiment theatre-based approach to solve the gaps in traditional training methods. So he is a theatre-based trainer, and let's welcome Mr. Rangraj Bhattacharya.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before I start, I just want to check if you all are awake and you're still with me. I'm just going to say hi. You will have to say hello. Simple. Hi. Hi. Okay. Now I'm going to say a situation. You'll have to imagine that and say hello. Okay. You all get an ice cream. Come on, react. Okay. You're eating an ice cream and they take it away from you. Yeah, that's right. You're walking on the road, being very happy, someone splashes water on you. Hello, yeah, that's good, that's angry. So what we are seeing now here, this is theatre, right? Where you go through emotions, being yourself, forgetting about your designation, forgetting about what you've achieved in life, nothing. You're being people, you're enjoying the emotions, and that is what I use in trainings. And before I talk of theatre and how is theatre used, is it useful, what are the benefits, I just want to take you through a slide. By the way, I have a special permission to run a little longer. I just spoke to Chandra. No, I'm just joking. How does this work? Can I? Yeah, see, cool. So this is my first PPT. I thought I'll do something different. This is what I used to feel when I was in the PPT trainings. So I just have about 50 slides now. Okay. Right. How many of you go through this when you're in a presentation-based training? For people who can't see, there's a minion that says, "Dear Almighty, this is how I didn't want to die." How many of you go through this? Raise your hands, yeah, that's okay. You are in a classroom, you are in a PPT-based training. You go through this, right? And finally, you try. Exact. I had this expression a lot of times. How many have had this expression a lot of times? Raise your hands, that's okay. No one can see you, by the way, only I can see, don't worry. Oh, sorry, I put it off. What did I do to it? Yeah, this way never give a PPT to a man who can't use it. Can we have the PPT back on, please? It's there, thanks. No, one second. Sorry. Yeah, so most people go on to a good night folks zone. Now what we did was that when we speak of theatre, theatre is generally looked at it as an art form where you just go on stage, perform, enact and entertain people, but theatre is much more than that. It kind of helps you, go through your emotions, you get a wonderful experience of what you do, and through that experience is what you're going to learn. So how does a theatre-based session look like? This is what you do. You have a lot of activities, it's just done inside an empty room, participants going through a series of activities designed specifically for whatever skill that's there for them. You get to do all this crazy stuff. That's the best part. And here, what happens is that irrespective of you're a CEO of a company or you're just your first time into the company, you're just thinking about how am I going to enjoy the session rather than, okay, I have my boys next to me. That's not going to happen, right? So why should we use theatre? First thing, there is no ego, stay grounded, because when you use theatre or any other art form for a session, you don't have chairs, you don't have tables, you're going to be sitting on the floor. So people who are dozing off at the back will not get a chance to do that. Then teamwork, no bias, because in a theatre-based session when you work, your whole purpose is on how exactly do I complete the activity rather than sitting and listening So you're there actively involved, exchanging ideas. People have been talking about this, right? They've been talking about your conscious bias, unconscious bias, and you have your stereotypes. Everything goes away. There is nothing of that. You learn to work on time because you want to respect others' time. That's most important. And manage resource effectively. Just give me 1 minute. I'm done. Sorry. And does it work? Yes. About 11,000 employees across the country have gone through this. If you want to ask me more questions, I'm right there down. You can ask me later. Thank you.
So the next person on stage is Dr. Anish P. Joseph. Dr. Anish P. Joseph. He's a doctorate from Jodhpur National University, Rajasthan, in General Management of Producer Companies. He's a competent professional with 7 years of experience in sales, operations, and rural development, training and development, and marketing. His topic is how to overcome stage fright in 2 minutes. Over to you. 4 minutes.
So, once again, very good afternoon to you all, ladies and gentlemen. Myself, Dr. Anish P. Joseph from Popular Vehicles and Services. Now, first slide, please. Dear friends, see, whenever we come into a common platform, all of us face stage fright. Basically, stage fright means it's basically, it's nervousness when we face audience. Frankly speaking, we all have, whenever we are facing an audience, we will be, shivering our hands, or legs will be, trembling, and we cannot speak up, we cannot open our mouth. It happens with everyone, right? So this is called, the so-called symptoms of the disease called stage fright. And now my question is, how to overcome this? Funda is so simple. Suppose when you come to stage, if you wanted to deliver something, please make sure that you are well versed with your topic, first point. And after that, suppose if you're on stage, make use of the podium. So that suppose, if you start shivering, nobody will see. You can just hold on it. And second thing, stand straight. Stand straight and make sure your legs are neither too closer nor too far. Which means if anybody is pushing you from behind, you should not fall down. So simple as that. And third point would be, should not hold your hands back. Just like that. Don't do it. And next thumb rule. Whenever you are delivering a presentation, please make sure that you are not putting your arms down just like this. So what you go to do is, make sure that you are, just holding it just above your hip, like this. So whenever you speak, make sure that your hands are kept just above your hips. So this is a perfect position in which you can deliver speech, right? And suppose if you feel that you are shivering, make use of this one. Just hold it for a moment, and if you wanted to go for gestures, go for it. And if you feel that you are shivering again, hold on it, but don't break it, right? And next thing is, what you go to do is, your chin has to be bit on the higher side. Look straight, and don't look at the eyes, look at the forehead. Because we all know that we cannot look at one's eyes for minutes and all, right? Maybe for a couple of seconds we can. But the problem of the same is, suppose if we focus on the eyes, we will get distracted. Our confidence will be totally gone. So better look at the forehead, wherein you will be having a command over the people. So that's all what I wanted to share with you all guys, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Anish. May I invite Nirmala? Yeah, Nirmala, to please hand over this memento to Dr. Anish. So the next round of trainers' talks will be after the next session.
Hailing from Kumbalam village of Ernakulam district, Malati G. Menon is a shining artist of Tiruvadara, the enchanting and unique art form of Kerala. After retiring from government service as a Hindi teacher, she has dedicated herself for this art that entirely occupies her heart and thoughts. She has founded a school in 2009 in order to bring Tiruvadara into the limelight, called Parvanendu School of Tiruvadara. This institution has become a haven for children, housewives, and working women. The school has conducted many a stage show, attracting huge crowds. Ms. Menon has been in the judging panel at the district and state levels for various performing arts at various schools, colleges, and universities. With a view to boosting Tiruvadara not only in Kerala but also in other states, she has studied about this art form in depth and done her research. She has brought out many books and cassettes on the subject. She has been featured in print and television. She has written books and articles and written in magazines, and she also plays edaka and the keyboard. Over to you.
എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം. ഞാൻ നിങ്ങളുടെ എല്ലാവരുടെയും തിരുവാതിര മുത്തശ്ശിയാണ് കേട്ടോ. പക്ഷെ വയസ്സ് എനിക്ക് 18 ഉള്ളൂ. തിരിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളൂ. 18 വയസ്സ് നിങ്ങൾ തിരിച്ചിടണം കേട്ടോ. ആ ഒരു പണി നിങ്ങൾക്ക് തന്നിരിക്കുകയാണ്. ജീവിതമാകുന്ന സാഗരത്തിൽ നിന്നുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ കലയാകുന്ന മഹാസാഗരത്തിലേക്ക് മുങ്ങിത്തപ്പി. അപ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് കുറച്ച് മുത്തുച്ചിപ്പികൾ കിട്ടി. കുറച്ച് അത് ഞാൻ എടുത്തുകൊണ്ട് സന്തോഷിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ് എൻ്റെ ജീവിതം. ഇന്നലകളുടെ നല്ല ഓർമ്മയും നാളത്തെ സ്വപ്നവുമാണ് എന്നെ ഇന്നത്തെ പ്രവൃത്തിയിലേക്ക് നയിക്കുന്നതെന്ന് ഞാൻ വിശ്വസിക്കുന്നു. ഇന്നലകളുടെ എൻ്റെ നല്ല ഓർമ്മ എന്താണ്? ഞാൻ പഠിച്ചു, ജയിച്ചു, ജോലി കിട്ടി, വിവാഹം കഴിഞ്ഞു, 3 കുട്ടികളുടെ അമ്മയായി, അവരെ വേണ്ട വിധത്തിൽ എത്തിച്ചു. നല്ല ഓർമ്മ. നാളത്തെ സ്വപ്നം എന്താണെന്നറിയണ്ടേ? നാളത്തെ സ്വപ്നം എൻ്റെ കല. എനിക്ക് ഒരുപാട് കലകളുണ്ട്. അത് തിരുവാതിരയാണ് മെയിൻ. 2017 10,000 സ്ത്രീകളെ അണിനിരത്തിക്കൊണ്ട് കൊച്ചിൻ യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റിയിലെ ഗ്രൗണ്ടിൽ തിരുവാതിര കളിപ്പിക്കുക എന്ന ലക്ഷ്യം നിറവേറ്റണമാണ്. അതാണ് എൻ്റെ സ്വപ്നം. ആ സ്വപ്നം സാക്ഷാത്കരിക്കാൻ ഇവിടെയുള്ള ഓരോ സ്ത്രീകളും പുരുഷന്മാരും, എന്തിനാ പുരുഷന്മാരെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ അവരുടെ ഭാര്യമാരെയും പെങ്ങന്മാരെയൊക്കെ തരാം, മക്കളെ, സ്ത്രീകൾ കളിക്കാൻ എല്ലാവരും എന്നെ സഹായിക്കണം. അതാണ്. എന്നാലേ എനിക്ക് നാളത്തെ സ്വപ്നം പൂർത്തീകരിക്കാൻ പറ്റൂ. പിന്നെ എനിക്ക് നിരാശയില്ല. കാരണം എൻ്റെ ജീവിതത്തിൽ ഒരു നിമിഷം പോലും ഞാൻ പാഴാക്കിയിട്ടില്ല. ഉദ്യോഗത്തിൽ നിന്ന് വിരമിച്ചതിന് ശേഷം സാധാരണ സ്ത്രീകൾ, പുരുഷന്മാരുടെ കാര്യം എനിക്കറിയില്ല, അവർ ക്ലബിലേക്കും അടിച്ചു പൊളിക്കാനൊക്കെ പോകും. സ്ത്രീകൾക്കൊരു സൗകര്യമില്ല. വീട്ടിലിരിക്കുക, മക്കളെ പേരക്കുട്ടികളെ നോക്കരുതെന്നല്ല ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞേ. അത് മാത്രം അടുക്കളയിൽ മാത്രം ഭർത്താവിനെ മാത്രം ശുശ്രൂഷിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് ജീവിതം പാഴാക്കി കളയരുത്. അതും വേണം. നമ്മൾക്കും, അതായത് സ്ത്രീകൾക്കും സാധിക്കും എല്ലാം ചെയ്യാൻ. ചെണ്ട കൊട്ടുന്നത് പുരുഷന്മാർക്ക് മാത്രമല്ല, സ്ത്രീകൾക്കും വരും. ഞാൻ ചെണ്ട കൊട്ടി. അങ്ങനെ സ്ത്രീകൾക്ക് പറ്റാത്തതായിട്ട് ഒന്നും തന്നെയില്ല. നമുക്ക് സാധിക്കും. പരിശ്രമം ചെയ്യുകയിൽ എന്തിനേയും കരത്തിലാക്കാൻ കഴിവുള്ള മർത്യൻ. എനിക്ക് വേണ്ട, എനിക്ക് മുട്ടുവേദനയാണ്. ഒരു 10-60 റിട്ടയർ ആയി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ എല്ലാവരും പറയണേ എനിക്കൊന്നും പറ്റൂലേ, ഞാൻ എവിടെയെങ്കിലും പോയി കിടക്കട്ടെ. അങ്ങനെ വിചാരിക്കരുത് മക്കളെ, അങ്ങനെ വിചാരിക്കരുത്. നമുക്ക് പറ്റും. മരണം വരെ അത് നമുക്കറിയില്ല എപ്പോഴാണ്. നമ്മൾ പ്രവർത്തിച്ചുകൊണ്ടേയിരിക്കുക. എനിക്കതാണ് നിങ്ങളോട് പറയാനുള്ളത്. നമുക്ക് 2 രീതിയിൽ മനുഷ്യരോട് പെരുമാറാൻ പറ്റും. 2 രീതിയിൽ, 2 ഡയലോഗ്. ഒരേ ഡയലോഗ് 2 തരത്തിൽ പറയാമെന്നർത്ഥം. ഉദാഹരണം, ഷാദി തുംസെ കഭി നഹി, ഷാദി തുംസെ കഭി നഹി. അങ്ങനെ 2 രീതിയിൽ നമുക്ക് പെരുമാറാൻ പറ്റും. ഒരേ ഡയലോഗ്. 2ാമത്തെ രീതി നമുക്ക് എടുക്കാം. സ്നേഹിക്കാം. സ്നേഹം കൊണ്ട് മാത്രമേ എന്ത് നേടാൻ പറ്റൂ. മറ്റുള്ളവർ നമ്മളെ വെറുത്താലും നമ്മളാരെയും വെറുക്കാതിരിക്കുക. ഇതൊക്കെ എനിക്ക് നിങ്ങളോട് പറയാനുള്ള ചെറിയ ചെറിയ കാര്യങ്ങളാണ്. വലിയ കാര്യങ്ങളൊന്നുമല്ല. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എന്നെക്കാളും കൂടുതൽ വിവരമുണ്ട് എന്ന് ഞാൻ വിശ്വസിക്കുന്നു. എങ്കിലും അങ്ങനെ ഈ പ്രായത്തിൽ ഈ പ്രായം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ 18 അല്ലേ? തൊട്ടെ. ഞാൻ എന്തൊക്കെ ചെയ്യേണ്ടെന്ന് നിങ്ങളോട് പറയട്ടെ. റിട്ടയർ ആയതിന് ശേഷമാണ് പ്രാരാബ്ദമൊക്കെ കഴിഞ്ഞു, മക്കൾ അവരുടെ കാര്യം നോക്കട്ടെ, പിന്നെ അവരെ പുറകെ നടക്കണം നമ്മളതിന്, അവരായി അവരുടെ കാര്യം വേണ്ടി വന്നാൽ എന്തെങ്കിലുമൊക്കെ ചെയ്യുക, അത്രേ ഉള്ളൂ. ഞാൻ ആദ്യം എനിക്ക് തോന്നി ഇടയ്ക്ക കൊട്ടണം, ഇടയ്ക്ക കൊട്ടാൻ പഠിച്ചു. പിന്നെ എനിക്ക് തോന്നി കീബോർഡ് പഠിക്കണമെന്ന്. കാരണം പാട്ട് പാടാൻ കുറേ കഴിയുമ്പോൾ പറ്റില്ല, ശബ്ദമൊക്കെ അങ്ങനെ ശ്വാസം മുട്ടും. കൈകൊണ്ടുള്ള പ്രവൃത്തികൾ കുറേയൊക്കെ ചെയ്യാം. അതാണ് കീബോർഡ് പഠിക്കാനും ഇടയ്ക്ക കൊട്ടാനും ചെണ്ട കൊട്ടാനും. ഇപ്പം ഞാൻ കഥ തിരുവാതിരൻ്റെ രക്തത്തിൽ ഊറി കിടക്കുകയാണ്, ഫാമിലി ട്രഡീഷൻ. കഥകളിയും പഠിച്ചു കേട്ടോ, ഇപ്പോഴും പഠിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. പിന്നെ ഇപ്പം ഞാൻ പഠിക്കുന്നത് എന്താണെന്ന് അറിയോ? ഡ്രംസ് പഠിക്കാൻ തുടങ്ങി. ഞാൻ എന്താ ആഗ്രഹിക്കണേന്നാണ് ലക്ഷ്യം. അതായത് ഈ പഠിച്ചതെല്ലാം കൂടി ഒരു സ്റ്റേജിൽ വെച്ച് അവതരിപ്പിക്കണം മരിക്കുന്നതിന് മുമ്പ്. നിങ്ങളെയൊക്കെ ഞാൻ ക്ഷണിക്കാട്ടോ. ഈ മെയ് 1-ാം തീയതി അങ്ങോട്ട് കഴിഞ്ഞോട്ടെ, അതുവരെ എനിക്ക് ടെൻഷനാണ്. ടെൻഷനൊന്നുമില്ല, എന്നാലും നടക്കും. എനിക്ക് ശുഭാപ്തി വിശ്വാസമുണ്ട്, നടക്കും, ഞാൻ വിശ്വസിക്കുന്നു. അപ്പം ഞാൻ ചെറുതായിട്ട് ഇടയ്ക്കൊന്ന് കൊട്ടട്ടെ. നിങ്ങളിൽ ആർക്കെങ്കിലും ഒരു പാട്ട് പാടാൻ എൻ്റെ അടുത്ത് ഒന്ന് പാടി, ആ പാട്ടിനനുസരിച്ച് ഞാൻ കൊട്ടാം. പ്ലീസ്, ആണായാലും പെണ്ണായാലും ഇങ്ങോട്ട് വന്നോളൂ. ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു പാട്ട് വരും, പാടൂ. മലയാളം മതി കേട്ടോ, ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് പാടല്ലേ.
Any singers, please come forward. You can sing.
ഇത് എൻ്റെ കൂട്ടുകാരി ഉഷാറാണിയുടെ അമ്മയാണ്. അപ്പോൾ എൻ്റെ അമ്മയാണ്. അപ്പോൾ അമ്മ വിളിക്കുമ്പോൾ മകൾക്ക് വരാതെ പറ്റില്ല, അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് വന്നത്. സെൻറ്റ് തെരേസാസിൽ ഒരുമിച്ച് പഠിച്ച ഉഷാറാണിയുടെയും ജയശ്രീയുടെയും അമ്മ. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പോൾ അമ്മ പറയണു ചെത്തിമന്താരം പാടാൻ. എനിക്ക് മുഴുവനൊന്നും അറിയില്ല, കൂടെ പാടണം. ചെത്തിമന്താരം തുളസി പിച്ചകമാലകൾ ചാർത്തി ഗുരുവായൂരപ്പ നിന്നെ കണി കാണണം. ചെത്തിമന്താരം തുളസി പിച്ചകമാലകൾ ചാർത്തി ഗുരുവായൂരപ്പ നിന്നെ കണി കാണണം. മയിൽ പീലി ചുറ്റി ചൂടിക്കൊണ്ടും മഞ്ഞ തൂകിൽ ചുറ്റിക്കൊണ്ടും മണിക്കുഴലൂതിക്കൊണ്ടും കണി കാണണം. ചെത്തിമന്താരം തുളസി പിച്ചകമാലകൾ ചാർത്തി ഗുരുവായൂരപ്പ നിന്നെ കണി കാണണം. താങ്ക് യു. വീരവിരാട കുമാര വിഭോ ചാരുതര സുതസാനന മാരലാവണ്യ
I mean, she is 81-year-old with a lot of aspirations I think we should give a standing ovation. She's an inspirer. She inspires everyone standing here, learning so much. And you know, she is going to organize a 10,000 women Tiruvadira Kali. Another date? May 1st. And she wants all the women out here to participate in that. 10,000 women Tiruvadira Kali, which is going to be a world record, which is going to happen in Kochi. All the best.
സ്നേഹമുള്ളവരെ, കൊച്ചനിയന്മാരെ, അനുജത്തിമാരെ, മക്കളെ, ഞാൻ രജിസ്ട്രേഷൻ ഫോറം കൊണ്ടുവന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്, DVD ഒരെണ്ണം കൊണ്ടുവന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. നിങ്ങൾ ആരെങ്കിലും ലീഡർഷിപ്പ് എടുത്ത് നിങ്ങൾ മാക്സിമം സ്ത്രീകൾ അതിൽ പങ്കെടുക്കണം. ഫോം കൊണ്ടുവന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഞാൻ എന്നെ സഹായിക്കണം. ഞാൻ റിക്വസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നു, അപേക്ഷിക്കുന്നു. പ്ലീസ് നിങ്ങൾ വരില്ലേ? പങ്കെടുക്കില്ലേ? പങ്കെടുക്കില്ലേ? ഷുവർ ഷുവർ ഷുവർ.
I'd like to invite Ms. Diana Tentinger to give away a memento to Ms. Malati Menon. You would probably want to remove those shoes and dance.
So next, again, we'll continue with a quick trainer talk. Mr. Rahul Rajendran. Come over fast. Mr. Rahul Rajendran, he's coming from Kannur, all the way from Kannur. He is a graduate with handful of successfully running companies to his credit. He started his career as a manager in his dad's company, Thermail Thermoform Products. He has a lot of companies related to trading, fringe links, collection agency, Thermail Academy, and he is currently the managing partner of Blue Waves Laundry. And yeah, he's a trainer since 2016. He has been awarded the Outstanding Trainer Award in the Zone Trainers Workshop of JCI India, an aspiring international trainer by 2020. Let's put on our hands to Mr. Rahul Rajendran.
So, warm good evening, ladies and gentlemen. That was a very good introduction about me, so thank you so much for that. See, as you've heard, I'm a graduate with a handful of successful companies to my credit. But at the age of 40, that's where I try to connect to with my topic, crazy at 40. See, we had a very good panel discussion here, and we had real good discussions happening on that. It's a part of that which I also wanted to tell you all. Me, basically, working for 20 years, worked really hard building up certain companies. But at this age, crossing 40, I am still waiting to get into more and more opportunities and maybe build up more new companies. But my concern is, am I on the right platform? Not putting down Kerala, or I'm not putting down India. But still, my question is, me as an entrepreneur, is this the right platform for me to work? When I compare India with other countries, maybe Japan, I see so many entrepreneurs and so many companies coming up in a very good way. Examples like Toyota, Honda, Fuji, and so many in Japan. And take it Germany, Siemens, BMWs, and it goes on like millions. But if we think that maybe India, have we got that push from the government or from the people or from the society as entrepreneurs? Me as an entrepreneur, I always am afraid that we entrepreneurs are not treated in the right way. It's only because I have started so many companies, which you heard, and a few which has really drooped down. It was mainly because of certain problems that I was facing from the society as well as the government. The laundry unit that you heard right now was established in Kerala thinking that I'll be the best in the service industries by 2015. I started off in 2008. But what really happened was, after even having all the processes done, like the effluent treatment plants and whatever that the government needed, 2 years down the lane, I was not allowed to function in Kerala, saying that the problem was more than 100 or 200 people had written something to the government, what we say, like the complaints what we were doing. Actually, we didn't have any. It was all created. But the government was not able to give me justice. Anyway, let's leave that apart. So my question is, 20 years from now, what is that we want to be as citizens of India? We always say, by 2040, we will be the best country in the world. But is that going to happen? Are we in the right phase or are we in the right direction? That's my question. What do you feel about it? See, my basic concern is our education system, as we discussed in the wonderful panel today morning, the system of operation, maybe the government, maybe whatever organizations that we have that is trying to pull us up to the positive level. Where does our energy go? Where do we lose our energy? See, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to comment more on this, but I want each and every one to start thinking that we all need to unite in such a way that 20 years from now, you don't have another entrepreneur talking to you in this way. We need to grow. India has to reach the most epitome of success. Wishing you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul. Once again, Nirmala, onto the stage to hand over the certificate and memento to Rahul. The next trainer talk, before I announce that, I request all the remaining trainer talk contestants to ensure that your PPT or anything which you want to hand it over to the technical desk, please do that. And also, discuss with Ms. Sandra regarding that. Next on stage is Ms. Kavita Nair. Kavita, she is a graduate in English literature. She works for Aster Medicity. Her topic for today is Service Excellence in Healthcare. She is a Dale Carnegie and American TESOL certified learning and development professional specialized in employee motivation and leadership. And she has a decade of developing and implementing highly result-oriented training programs. Kavita, on stage. Your topic is Service Excellence in Healthcare.
Good evening, everyone. It's nice to see you all here. You might have traveled all the way here in the morning and seen something like this. At least one of those. Yeah? So let me take you through a memory lane around 2012, a couple of years ago. Maybe 2012. Have you seen these kind of huge flex boards, hoardings, anywhere in the city? Maybe one? Have you? So within these couple of years, we are in 2017, right? Couple of years, what has changed? Why do we feel like the healthcare sector has just woken up one fine morning and found the need to attract people to come over there? And let me take you to some statistics. Healthcare sector is tremendously growing. If you look at the statistics, India is the 5th in the medical tourism destinations, according to Medical Tourism Index. So, and by 2020, it is going to grow to nearly 300 billion industry. It is growing so fast. And government is spending a lot on technology, healthcare technology. And we are also having a reverse brain drain of doctors and nurses as well. So what am I speaking about? We have technology, we have investments, we have a lot of startups, healthcare startups coming up in and around our city. And everybody have their own technologies, their own specialities, robotic surgery, etc., that we see all around the city. You know, whenever a doctor joins or whenever a new technology is introduced, we can see it on these flux spots that I showed you in the beginning. Everyone has an equal access to all these things. But what differentiates a healthcare provider from all of the other healthcare providers? There is one thing that differentiates, and it is service excellence. Because when you go to a hospital or anywhere in that matter, when you go to a hotel, you go to a restaurant to have some food, and you sit on the table, and nobody bothers to ask you what you need. And even when you go to a hospital, you know, nobody likes to go to a hospital. Nobody wants. So finally, when you go to a hospital, you want someone to acknowledge you. You want someone to look at you and ask what you need. And you want somebody to listen. You want a doctor who smiles and makes you comfortable and makes you feel the warmth. You don't want to go to a hospital where people does everything what technology could do. There's something called human touch. So the sum of all, service excellence is the sum of all interactions shaped by an organization's culture. So service excellence reflects an organization's culture. So where do we start? Service excellence is a very broad topic, but I want to simplify it. Like, service excellence is what people do at every point of contact. Does the security standing at the entrance know where to direct you? Give proper directions? Does the receptionist sitting in the front office know what you need to know? And does your doctor make you feel good? Or does your nurse help you? So this is what will differentiate any healthcare provider in the 21st century. Thank you.
Okay, Kavita, thank you. May I invite Satish sir to please hand over the certificate and memento to Kavita.
We have the third and last guest speaker of the day, Ms. Liji Abraham. She's a yoga trainer. She's been in the human resources industry for 20 years, and she's currently the managing director of Headway Consultant Private Limited. She took early retirement to follow her passion, which is yoga. She's been learning yoga for 15 years and teaching the same for 4 years. She has an MSc in yoga therapy from SVYASA University in Bangalore. Put our hands together for Ms. Liji.
Good afternoon to all. I'll take Anisha's advice and be behind the podium because I'm hardly a public speaker. My topic for the day is yoga and learning. So let's see, what is the effect of yoga on learning? Be at any stage of life, yoga does have a positive impact on learning. There are several social and emotional aspects of learning, like empathy, managing feelings, self-awareness, social skills, communication, creative thinking, evaluation, problem solving, etc. Actually, yoga positively impacts anything and everything what your left and right brain is capable of. So for a brief understanding for the day, we will look into 4 aspects of learning. One is memory, concentration, creative thinking, and discriminative power. But before going into that, I think I need to tell you a brief on what yoga is. I'm sure that most of you are aware of yoga, but whenever I take a class, who comes first, I always ask them, what is yoga for you? The answers I get are very different. Like some say that yoga is asana, some say it's a form of exercise with breathing, some say it's meditation, pranayama, something to increase flexibility, relaxation, so on. The list goes on actually. But yoga is actually a spiritual path. I'm sure most of you are aware of it, but there are basic 4 aspects of yoga, basically 4 types of yoga. This spiritual path, where does it lead to? This spiritual path leads to self-realization. There are mainly 4 parts of yoga. One is Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Raja Yoga. The terms might be very new for all of you, but I'll just give you a brief what it is. The paths are very different, but it all leads to self-realization. You understand what you are, you look inward. That is the goal of yoga. The first is Bhakti Yoga, the path of complete surrender. You totally surrender to the reality. We have so many examples around like Pundanam, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Mirabai. They were all into Bhakti Yoga. They self-realized through the path of Bhakti. Next one is Karma Yoga. As the word says, karma is action. So what is the difference here? We all work. But for a karma yogi, he is not worried about the fruits of the action. Maybe it sounds too theoretical for you, but it does happen around. And people work like that and attain self-realization. We have a closer example of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. And the next one is Jnana Yoga. It is a path of intellect. You go on inquiring, questioning until you find the basic essence of life. That is Jnana. And the last one is Raja Yoga. That is the path of willpower. It is all about constant practice. In Raja Yoga is where the asanas, pranayama, meditation and all comes. Why willpower? Because it needs constant practice. And the best example we have in front of us is Swami Vivekananda. He was a Raja Yogi. I'll tell you a brief about Raja Yoga because that is what we are familiar with. Raja Yoga was propounded by sage Patanjali. I'm sure all of you would have heard the name Patanjali. Okay. One of the main definitions of yoga given by Patanjali is Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Chitta means mind. Vritti is modification. Nirodha is control. So what do? You control your modifications of your mind. What happens? You gain mastery over your mind, and then you are said to be in yoga. This is totally a spiritual side of it. But for our context here, while the central theme of yoga remains the highest goal of spiritual path, yogic practices give direct and tangible benefits to everyone regardless of their spiritual aims. That is where yoga therapy comes in. What does yoga therapy do? Yoga therapy gives physical and mental cleansing and strengthening, and that is one of the main achievements of yoga. Physical and mental cleansing and strengthening. That is one main achievements of yoga. According to medical scientists, yoga therapy is successful because the balance it creates in the nervous system and the endocrine system so that all other systems of your body is working perfectly and even all the organs. That is how yoga therapy works. Let me just take you through the few tools of yoga therapy. Most of it you are aware of. First is asana. Second is pranayama. Third is kriya. I don't know whether you're familiar with it, kriya. Then bandhas and mudras. Chanting you're familiar with. And diet and meditation. Asanas are nothing but postures. any physical posture. But most of the people think yoga means a difficult posture which you can never do. It is not like that. It should be a basic, simple posture. There you need to stay in that posture, breathe nicely, full focus on your body and breath. That is what asana is all about. And what does it give you? It gives a correct alignment for your body. It corrects your posture. And most of the asanas you see around are inspired from nature. There are so many from birds, from trees. So about gurus also, in the name of gurus also, there are so many asanas. The next one is pranayama. Prana means vital energy. Pranayama is controlling breath for our physical benefit, mental benefit, and therapeutic benefit. But how does pranayama work? In pranayama, we either increase the speed of breathing, or slow down the breath, or stop the breath, or even hold it. These are done in permutations and combinations. So how does it affect our body? When we do pranayama, the nervous system is relaxed. When the nervous system is relaxed, your mind is calm. So with a calm mind, you're more connected, composed, intuitive, creative, and you have the healing power. And the next one is Kriya. Kriya basically means cleansing techniques. There are 6 basic cleansing techniques in yoga. I'm not going into the detail. These are our techniques, some you would have heard, basically for your eyes, your nasal region, your alimentary tract. You actually drink hot saline water and induce vomiting, basically cleansing of your body for physical and therapeutical benefits. That is Kriya. Then is bandhas and mudras. I'm sure you would have seen posters like this. This is called a mudra. And you actually manipulate your fingers to lock the energy. Usually in our body, we lose energy through the extremities. So with mudra, you lock it so that that energy can be rediverted to respective places for physical and therapeutical benefits. Then the next is chanting. When I say chanting, most of the people have this religious feel. It is not at all like that. Yoga has no religion. It could be like chanting of any sounds like akara, ukara, or omkara, or any hymns, anything can be chanting. But the basic essence about chanting is it creates vibration. And what happens with these vibrations? The resonance happens. Each and every cell of your body starts resonating. When it starts resonating, cleansing happens, stimulation happens, and you get all the benefits. That is how chanting works. The next is diet. In yogic text, it's clearly mentioned how a yogi's diet should be. I'll just mention one part of it, which is mittahara, which means whenever you eat, you should, after eating, your stomach should be half filled with solids, 1/4 with liquid, and the other 1/4 should be empty. That is how you should be eating. That is what yoga says. And the last one is meditation. In meditation, what I found is most of the people feel meditation is focusing on something. But it is just the opposite. Actually, meditation is totally defocusing. Maybe you start to meditate thinking of your breath, or this point, or even the sun, or a pen in your hand, anything. Maybe you start meditating like that. But when you are in meditation, you actually become one with that object. So you no longer are focusing. You are totally defocusing. So that meditation is total defocusing. So now let's come to our topic of learning. We said we will talk about memory and concentration. For memory and concentration, what do we need? We need alive and active brain cells. So how does yoga help? Whenever you are doing yoga, it increases the blood supply, it increases the oxygen supply to the particular parts of the brain. So when you say about concentration, the frontal lobe is involved in that. So when you do certain postures, certain meditation, or certain pranayama, that frontal lobe is stimulated. Thereby, you have more concentration and focus. And even for that matter, memory also. We have different kinds of memory. Like for example, memory acquisition is from hippocampus, the active memory is from the prefrontal lobe. So all these parts of the brain are being stimulated when we do all the combinations of these yogic tools. And the next one is creativity. In today's world, we are actually focusing more on the left brain. The logic works more. Most of the time, the right side is being discarded. The right side is the seat of emotions and creativity. So we need to actually stimulate the right side of the brain more. How do we do this? I can just give you a simple example of a pranayama, which is called Chandra Anuloma Viloma Pranayama, in which you close your right nostril and breathe through your left nostril. You keep on doing it, your body becomes cooler, and indirectly or directly it affects your right brain. Right brain is being stimulated. So there are so many combinations like that which can be done. It directly helps you in being more creative. And the last one is discriminative power. It arises from the clarity of thought. What do you need for discriminative power? You need clarity of thought and you need a balance. So for that we need to correctly balance our right and left side of the brains. Yoga really helps in that. So all these aspects, if you see, basically the nervous system and the brain is what helps, even the endocrine system. So most of the yoga techniques focuses on all this and helps in learning. So, and one example which I would say is that we have seen the old punishment of etam, ethada parele. In that, the teachers used to give this because it is basically to stimulate memory. How does it work? When you go down, the blood supply to the brain increases. When you cross your hands like this, your left side and the right side of the brain is balanced. And the third one is, when you hold your pressure point on the ear lobes, your memory is directly stimulated. So that is how yoga works. This is one simple example. So to sum it up, in this respect, yoga is far from simply being physical exercise. It is an aid to establishing a new perception of what is real, what is necessary, and how to become established in a way of life which embraces both inner and outer realities. This way of life is an experience which cannot be understood intellectually and which only become living knowledge through practice and experience. So I humbly request all of you to be a part of this yogic renaissance. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Liji. I'd like to invite Sri S.R. Nair onto stage to give away the memento. Let's have an interactive session with all the three speakers, Ms. Liji, Ms. Malati, and Mr. Vishnu. Can we have you on stage, please?
Vishnu, you wanted to ask a question.
ഒരു കാര്യം ഞാൻ പറയാൻ വിട്ടുപോയി. കൃത്യനിഷ്ഠ നമ്മുടെ ജീവിതത്തിൽ ഏറ്റവും ആവശ്യമുള്ളത് കൃത്യനിഷ്ഠയാണ്. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് എനിക്ക് ഓരോ കാര്യങ്ങളും ചെയ്യാൻ സാധിക്കുന്നത്. നമ്മൾ രാത്രി കിടക്കാൻ നേരത്തെ ചിന്തിക്കണം, ഞാൻ എന്തൊക്കെ ഇന്ന് ചെയ്തു, അയ്യോ വിട്ടുപോയല്ലോ, ഓർമ്മ വരും, അത് നാളെ ചെയ്ത് തീർക്കണം. അതാണ് കൃത്യനിഷ്ഠ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ എന്തിനും നമുക്ക് കരുത്തിലാക്കാൻ പറ്റും.
ആരോഗ്യത്തിൻ്റെ രഹസ്യം,
ആരോഗ്യത്തിൻ്റെ രഹസ്യം ഭക്ഷണം, ആഹാരം. പിന്നെ ഒന്ന് ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞല്ലോ, കൃത്യനിഷ്ഠ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞില്ലേ, നമ്മൾ വളരെ നേരത്തെ എഴുന്നേൽക്കുക. ഒരു 4 മണിക്കില്ല, ഒരു 4:30 മണിക്കെങ്കിലും എഴുന്നേൽക്കുക. എഴുന്നേറ്റ് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം അത് മനസ്സിലാക്കണം. ഞങ്ങളെ സംബന്ധിച്ച് ഞാൻ നേരെ അടുക്കളയിലേക്കാണ് കേട്ടോ പോണേ. എൻ്റെ ഭർത്താവിന് ഭക്ഷണം ഉണ്ടാക്കി കൊടുക്കണ്ടേ, എനിക്ക് കഴിക്കണ്ടേ, വേറെ ആരുമില്ല. ഭക്ഷണം ഉണ്ടാക്കി കൊടുത്തതിന് ശേഷം കുളി കഴിഞ്ഞ് എൻ്റെ പണിപ്പുരയിലേക്ക് വരും. എന്താ പണിപ്പുരയെന്നറിയോ? ഈ പഠിക്കുന്നതെല്ലാം ഞാൻ പ്രാക്ടീസ് ചെയ്യും. എന്നോട് എൻ്റെ അമ്മ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടല്ല ഞാൻ പഠിക്കണേ, അച്ഛൻ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടല്ല, ആരും പറഞ്ഞിട്ടില്ല. ഞാൻ തന്നെയാണ് ഇതൊക്കെ പഠിക്കണേ. അപ്പം ഞാൻ തന്നെ പ്രാക്ടീസ് ചെയ്യണം. അഭ്യാസ് കാ മഹത്വം, അതാണ് ഏറ്റവും ആവശ്യം. ആരോഗ്യത്തിൻ്റെ രഹസ്യം ഭക്ഷണം, കൃത്യനിഷ്ഠ, ഇത് രണ്ടുമാണ്. ചിട്ട, ജീവിതചര്യ, ചിട്ടയോടുകൂടി ജീവിക്കുക. എനിക്ക് 81 വയസ്സായെന്ന് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് തോന്നണുണ്ടോ?
ഇല്ല.
ആ, അതാണ്, അത് മനസ്സിലാക്കിക്കോ. എനിക്ക് തോന്നിയിട്ടില്ലല്ലോ 81 വയസ്സായെന്ന്. ഞാൻ 18 എന്നല്ലേ പറഞ്ഞു കൊടുക്കണം.
യു ലുക്ക് വെരി യങ് ആൻഡ് ബ്യൂട്ടിഫുൾ ആൻഡ് എനർജറ്റിക്. താങ്ക് യു വെരി മച്ച്.
താങ്ക്സ് അലോട്ട്.
തമിഴ്നാട്ടിലേക്ക് പോരുന്നോ?
ഞാൻ എവിടെ വേണമെങ്കിലും വരാൻ റെഡിയാണ്. അവിടെയൊക്കെ പോയി തിരുവാതിര പഠിപ്പിക്കാനാണ് കേട്ടോ. എനിക്ക് തിരുവാതിര പഠിപ്പിക്കണം എവിടെ വേണമെങ്കിലും. ഈ മെയ് 1 തീയതി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ എനിക്ക് ഒരുപാട് സ്ഥലത്ത് പോകണമെന്നുണ്ട്. ബാംഗ്ലൂർക്കാരും മംഗലാപുരക്കാരും മദ്രാസുകാരൊക്കെ എന്നെ വിളിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. അവരൊക്കെ വരുന്നുണ്ട് കളിക്കാൻ. അവിടെയൊക്കെ ഞാൻ പോകും.
Vishnu, question is, you said about a particular gypsies, you know?
Yeah.
All the community members have been included, or it's only one set of people?
No. See, their population would roughly be around 1.2 lakhs across Tamil Nadu. This is only one habitation which they have in my division. They're spread.
What's the number?
48 families to be precise. Okay. So we built 48 houses. So 48 into roughly 6.
So in case you would like to take up the whole Naikar family or the community or the clan, that could be a larger one that you can do, you know?
Well, that should be at a policy level decision by the government at a scale, because they should have established something like a Narikurur welfare board, and unfortunately they have still not been included in the ST community. They still don't belong to the ST community. So it's a policy level decision to be taken by the government to scale the same model across Tamil Nadu, and if possible to the other states also.
Something that I wanted to add to what you have presented in the morning is where you said gypsies are actually traced to the Romanian gypsies.
Yeah.
Actually, if you really go deeper onto that, Romanian gypsies are actually traced to Lambadas in Rajasthan.
Okay.
So gypsy as a culture emanated out of India. If you really drill down and see, so it's from Lambadas to Romania,
Okay.
and then probably back to your Naikas actually.
Reverse migration. Okay,
That's right,
good.
yes.
Okay. Thank you.
സോറി, ആൺകുട്ടികളെ ഒരിക്കലും വിഷമിക്കരുത്. ഞാൻ ആൺകുട്ടികൾക്ക് വേണ്ടി പിന്നൽ തിരുവാതിര എന്നൊരൈറ്റം പഠിപ്പിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. നിങ്ങളെല്ലാ ആൺകുട്ടികളും അത് കളിക്കണം. അതിന് ചാട്ടോ ഇതൊന്നുമില്ല, വളരെ രസമാണ്. എല്ലാവരും ചേരണം. പിന്നൽ തിരുവാതിര ഈ മെയ് 1 തീയതി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഇവിടെ വരും ഞാൻ പഠിപ്പിക്കാൻ. ഞാൻ വരാൻ തയ്യാറാണ്. മനസ്സിലായത്? ആൺകുട്ടികൾക്കുള്ളതാണ് പിന്നൽ തിരുവാതിര. പെൺകുട്ടികൾ കളിച്ച് സർട്ടിഫിക്കറ്റ് മേടിച്ചു. ഒരു ടീം എൻ്റെ കൂടെ അന്ന് വന്ന് കളിച്ചു, സർട്ടിഫിക്കറ്റ് കൊടുത്തു ഞാൻ അവർക്ക്. ആൺകുട്ടികൾ നിരാശപ്പെടരുത്, പെണ്ണുങ്ങൾ മാത്രമേ പഠിപ്പിക്കുന്നു ആയിരിക്കരുത്. ഞാനുണ്ട് നിങ്ങൾക്ക്. റെഡി?
So our young bureaucrat, again an observation for you. Can you explain during your path of this transformation about the blockades or your challenges or your non-cooperation or cooperation from your peers, boss and subordinates in changing all this drastic transformation about the whole thing? Because naturally we have to expect that. Anything sort of that?
Well, even I was slightly skeptical, because people, the myth when you join the service is that you will have political class opposing you, you would have your non-cooperation by your senior officers. But what I've realized is that it is not that way. I felt the political class was totally behind me. It's a common myth that that you try to do something, there is blockage from all the sides. I didn't find any challenges. The normal procedural delay would be there in getting funds sanctioned, but even that was quickened by help from the seniors, from the political class. Fundamentally, it's about how you deal with different stakeholders. People still always ask me, how do you manage the politicians? I found it's an art in itself. How do you manage the politicians? So in this particular case, absolutely no. I was lucky that everything went smooth as I wanted it to be. Exactly. I think your neutrality and unbiased actions speak a lot. So once the intention is pretty much clear, I think even if there are opposing forces, they are not strong enough to counter your intention forces. That's it.
Liji, on this yoga, there had been, you have said about Raja Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, etc., which is understood. But what we are worried about as a consumer of yoga is that every yogic teacher says he sees a different yoga. Somebody says, I am Bihar Yoga, Hatha Yoga, this yoga, that yoga. And somebody connects it with religion, somebody connects it with gods, goddesses. So therefore, this level of a narrowistic branding that is being done, it is not doing any good cause to yoga. Don't you think so?
What you're right. Yeah, what you're saying is right. but hardly do we have any control over it. We are actually moving away from traditional yoga, but the new yoga types, certain do hold on to the traditional aspects and bringing in new theories, which is actually suiting the current scenario. No, like you told me about Hatha Yoga, it's a common name actually. Somebody who is practicing asana, they're doing Hatha Yoga. Hatha is a general name actually. I can make you do little pranayama, breathing for you. Okay, if all of you can sit erect, I can help you with that. Gently close your eyes. If your hands are free, you can adopt Chin Mudra. This is called Jnana Mudra, which actually stimulates your brain nicely, which improves your memory and concentration. You need to just gently hold your index finger and thumb. Sit erect. Your head, neck, and spine should be in one line. Close your eyes. Have a smiling face. Just breathe normally. Inhale and gently exhale at your pace. There is no hurry. Just focus on your nostrils. See the breath going in. It's the cool breath which is going in. It is touching your throat. It's going through your trachea, bronchi. It's reaching your lungs. And you can see the lungs expanding. You can actually see the oxygen transfer happening between the blood. And you can see lungs taking that carbon dioxide. And now it's actually throwing it out. It is retracting the path, coming out of your nostrils. But there is a slight difference. It's gently warm. The warmth inside you is there in that breath. You can feel it. അത്ര സൂക്ഷ്മമായിട്ട് ശ്വാസത്തെ നോക്കുക. Just be there. Just focus. Let your other parts of the body be totally relaxed. മനസ്സിൻ്റെ ശാന്തത നമുക്കറിയാൻ സാധിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. Your mind is getting calmer. That is the strength of pranayama. Now, gently open your eyes with a smile.
Good evening, sir. My question is to Vishnu, sir. I'm here. So this is probably a question outside the arts and culture, probably. This is regarding from the students' side. So the whole discussion today was all about the employability market in the urban area being saturated. We don't have jobs, we study something, we go into something, we are trained in something, we are taught something, and all a confusing state. But rural is one area which is an untapped market. It's yet untapped. So my question to you too, sir, is just like NIFT turned out to start an innovative solution like fashion technology, like beads over there. Are there any government initiatives or any support for us students like management students to start up new businesses over there in the rural area? So then we are bridging the employability part in the students area as well as we are helping the rural people as well. So is there any?
Absolutely, there are a lot of options. Even me joining before the Indian Administrative Service, I was part of something called the Prime Minister's Rural Development Fellowship. I was posted to a Naxal affected area in Odisha where we used to work with the district administration. We were fellowship. It was not a paid job or anything, more or less like a 2-year internship with the district collector. So plus you have the Young India fellowships. Sky's the limit. A lot of rural social entrepreneurship ventures are going on from the government side as well as the entrepreneurship circles. So hell lot of options.
Thank you, sir. That's really.
So PMRDF and Young India, to be very specific to your question, PMRDF and Young India Fellowship are two of the main options that you could look forward to.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
This is a question to Vishnu.
I think, okay.
I'm really happy to see you here. I trust India will do very well in the coming decades with visionary youngsters like Vishnu and other IAS officers. Very heartfelt gratitude to the government for empowering you gentlemen. My questions are on two topics. The first one is, I understand that the government is giving a lot of funds for rural development, for Adivasis and tribal people. But we read a lot of news in newspapers that there are so many deaths out of starving, and pregnant women do not get enough care, and the childbirth leads to child deaths. All these things. That is one question. And how it can be solved with all these funds being granted to these activities or these missions. It is still not reaching the right people. That is one question. And the second question is, we have to develop awareness for encouraging rural youth, especially rural youth, into voluntary works for the country, so that they, during their academic years, learn a lot about their country and how best they can contribute for the country's development, so that they turn into good employers and employees when they grow up and contribute further to the nation's growth. These questions I really would like to get answers from you. Thank you.
That is a day's discussion worth of questions that you have asked. Still, I'll just summarize your two questions in very shortly with my limited constraints. The first question I would rephrase in a slightly different way. India can send a rocket to moon, but why are we still struggling with open defecation and tribal development and so on and so forth? That's your contradictory nature of Indian development that you're talking about. Second is the employability aspect of rural youth. Well, see, the first one, let me tell you that India is a young country. There is no other country in the scale and magnitude of this country. Every single scheme that the government rolls out is a unique experience in itself. Never tried before anywhere in the world. For example, your Aadhaar database. It is a unique project. Nowhere else in the world do we have that kind of a scale. So it's a work in progress. If you remember the last slide that I showed you, is all is well. I have done my best. We have got all the funds possible. But still, the society kind of reacted in a different way that we didn't expect. So it's a work in progress. Yes, in the coming years, we'll see a far more resurgent and active India. World over, it's gloom. All of you must be reading the newspapers. India is a bright spot amidst the global gloom that's going on. And the second part, rural development. I think slowly the rural development is getting its focus shifted to urban. If you look at Tamil Nadu, we are a 49% urbanized, second largest urbanized state in the country. Kerala is far more urbanized. Maharashtra is coming. So it's not rural challenge that we face. Soon the rural and urban, the kind of differentiation between the rural and urban would slowly diminish, and what you will see will be a continuum of, it's called Rurban, rural and urban put together. So the challenges in the coming decades are of totally different nature. Employability, yes, the entire ecosystem that we see here, the entrepreneurs, the government, the NGOs, the corporates, everybody has got a role to play. And I think there's no definite answer to your question, like you do this, you reach the development. No, it's trial and error, and every state is different. Kerala is different, Tamil Nadu is different, India is different. So I think I would sum up, forums like these should be used to disseminate the ideas, and probably let's look at a better country in the coming decades. Thank you.
That was wonderful. Thank you to the three guests today. Before we break for tea, I'd like to give you an idea of what we have in store tomorrow. We start tomorrow at 10 a.m. with a panel discussion, for which the theme is Corporate Learning and Development. How should it change for the future? The moderator would be Sri S.R. Nair. By around 11:30, we hope to have a special session by officers from Naval Academy of Erimala, Shaping Future Leadership, Training Men at Arms. And then a couple of sessions, Training for a Cause, Offbeat Stories. We have Ms. Vijayaraja Malliga, she's a transgender activist and co-founder of Sahaj International School. Ms. Rija C.R., she's a paraplegic trainer. Dr. Rashmi Pramod, founder of Jivanium. And we go on to a lunch break, and then our keynote address is by Dr. Som Singh, founder and CEO of Unspun Consulting Group. We have a panel discussion in the afternoon, e-learning, future of training, moderated by Professor Biju Vidayathil, Director, Amity Business School of Cochin. And in the evening, we go on to the valedictory session. After our 10-minute tea break, we still have about 5 to 6 trainer talks, so please get back by 4 o'clock. Thank you.
All the trainer talk presenters to be ready in this order. Dr. Sherna, Beena Melvin, Srishan, Vijini Suraj, Bennett, Dr. Sitaram, Benny George, Manohar Menon, Nobin Matai, and Suyash George. This is the order for the trainer talks right now. So shall we begin? So we have Dr. Sherna CM coming up on stage. She is from Kannur and she has 2 years of experience as a trainer. She is a trainer for JCI India. Training has always been her passion. She has conducted a lot of trainings inside and outside JCI. She has been adjudged as the outstanding participant of Zone Trainers workshops, Speechcraft, etc. She takes sessions on empowering youth, stress management, better lifestyle to better health, women empowerment, parenting, etc. So on to you, passing on the mic to you, Ms. Sherna. Her topic is Rise from Victimhood to Leadership.
Thank you, Chandra. A very warm good evening to all of you. Yes. So let me ask you one thing. Have you watched the movie 3 Idiots? Yes? Okay, do you remember the character Wangadu, Funsuk Wangadu? Yes? Okay, Amir Khan played that character really, really well. And you know, that movie brought into the limelight the drawbacks of conventional system of education. Okay, that is film, but in real life, we have one such hero. That is Sonam Wangchuk from Ladakh. You know what he did? What's so special about him? He started a school. Anyone can start a school, right? What's so special in it? You know what's the admission criteria to the school? You have to fail in the conventional board exams. Interesting, right? You have to fail in the conventional board exams. It's a school for the dropouts. And if you have passed, okay, you may be considered, but only in the waiting list. Strange, right? So, there are so many specialties about the school. The school, it is like a little country with its own elected government. They have their own paper, they have their own radio, and even they have their own specific time zone. That is 1 hour ahead of Indian Standard Time. What all creative ideas, isn't it? Many times I used to feel that Saturdays I have an OP where many students come to my clinic, and parents always complain, "Doctor, please help, they have very low grade marks, the teachers are complaining, please help." And I used to motivate these children, "Come on, you can do it, come on, come on." And I remember there was a boy, you know, he was highly intelligent. Now, you know what he watches? He doesn't watch cartoons. He watches NDTV, Discovery Channel, National Geographic, really a scientist in the making. But the problem is, he can't write exams. He is always into the practical side. He doesn't like theory. And the school teachers always complain, say that he's not getting good marks in the exam. And that boy come to me and says, "Doctor, I can't." So such reforms, such educational reforms is a blessing to the student community. So my question is, who will bring such reforms in our country? Should we wait for the government, the authority to make a reform in our country? Many times what happens is, we play victim to our circumstances. We always put the blame on the government and authority and wait for them to make a change. But Sonam Wangchuk, he was not an MLA or MP or an educational minister to bring a reform in Ladakh. He was just an engineer, and now he's an educational reformer. So it is not about position, it is all about passion, right? It's not about what position you are, but it's all about passion. And leadership is always about having a kind heart. He really felt the hardships faced by the students. And second thing, he had innovative ideas to bring a change in the educational system. And the third most important thing of a leader, that is to get things done. We all have ideas, but to get things done, to get it implemented, that is the most important thing a leader should do. So, we all should work to create a positive change in this society. We can and we should. Thank you.
May I request Satish sir to please come over and hand over the certificate and memento to Dr. Sherna. Thank you. The next person on stage is Beena Melvin. Beena Melvin is a trainer in image management. She has a solid backing of 2 decades of industry experience in sales, public relations, and customer service in hospitality sector. And currently, she is the first certified image consultant in Kochi by Image Consulting Business Institute, Mumbai. People skills is her forte and believes that her industry experience has helped her build up an awareness and understanding of the corporate world. We have on stage Ms. Trainer Beena Melvin.
Thank you, Chandra. A very good evening to one and you again. Today, I'm here to analyze why we do not rock on stage always. For this, I'd like someone from the audience to help me. Someone please come up. Anyone willing? Come. What's your name? Deepa. I'm giving this to Deepa. Deepa has just won 100 rupees from me. Tomorrow, it might be $1 million, but you lost out on the opportunity. All the world's a stage, and all men and women merely players. You all must be familiar with this, written by William Shakespeare from the play As You Like It. Stage fear, or glossophobia, as we all know, is not related to just one factor. Numerous factors are attached to this thing called stage fear. Even the most confident people have stage fear, from Broadway actors to professional presenters like you. Stage fear is common. Well, if any of you don't have the stage fear, I'd like to take a lesson from you. But for those of the others, together, we can work on this stage fear by practicing our minds and body to relax. Have you ever heard of the famous Oscar-winning actor Kim Basinger? She too suffered from this social phobia. You may be surprised if I tell you that she could not even deliver her Oscar-winning speech properly. Why Kim? Shall I narrate to you my own story? I had enrolled for this summit 2 weeks back, fully confident, started preparing. Until 2 days ago, I felt butterflies in my stomach. I called up Sandra. Sandra, can I back out, please? Deepa, have I taken the right decision? Shrija, do you think I've performed well? A lot of apprehensions. The fear of making mistakes, fear of nervousness, fear of being judged in a bad way, and fear of my self-image. A lot of things came onto my mind. Many of us don't realize that the main cause for the stage fear is nothing but a poor self-image and thereby a lack of confidence. Well, if that's the case, know that dealing with image management is the solution. What is image management? Image management is the developing of your inner strengths and thereby reflecting a positive appearance on the outside. Okay, a debrief on what I did, that little activity. This person who came up to receive the 100 rupees from me came here only because she was mindful of her image. Of course, the rest of you lost that opportunity. So being mindful and living mindfully will help you boost your self-image a lot. So, friends, together, there is no rocket science involved in boosting your self-image. Let us just relax, smile, be confident, and emerge confident and rock the stage successfully with a professional image. Thank you.
Thank you, Veena. I'm going to invite the next trainer talk, Mr. Benny George, onto the stage. And Benny George would be handing over the memento to Veena. Mr. Benny George. So while he hands over, let me introduce Mr. Benny George, who is the next trainer talk presenter. He's from Ernakulam, and he's a thoroughbred training professional. He's a gold medalist in MSc Geology and a first rank holder in MBA. Before launching himself into the training field, he pursued a successful career in shipping industry with companies like Choice Group, Maersk Line, Denmark, and various other companies. His skill as an effective communicator, trainer, and motivator made him the favorite with many corporate houses. He is also a certified NLP master trainer and a licensed NLP coach by Richard Bandler. All right, so we have now on stage Mr. Benny George, who is going to talk to us about enhanced communication through sensory acuity. Over to you.
Imagine all your employees, your teammates, your colleagues are all on the same page with you. Imagine there is seamless communication happening in your team. Imagine you are able to achieve your goal with your team with one single point focus. Sounds cool, right? Well, it's possible also. There are tools and techniques available where seamless communication can happen across teams between individuals, and those techniques help us to develop our communication pattern to deliver effective messages. Now let me try to do a live demo here. Now as I am talking to you now, you may choose to close your eyes and get in touch with your inner self. And as you begin to close your eyes, you will start focusing on your breathing. Feel the oxygen as it goes through your lungs and feel more relaxed. And as you are in this relaxed state, think about a time from the past when you and your team achieved something significant. Bring that picture into your mind like on a TV screen. See all the faces that were there at that time. See the images very clearly. Hear all the sounds that you heard at that time, the voices of the people, the music. Feel what you felt at that time. Now pay attention to where that feeling is located in your body now. Try to move that feeling all over your body from the top of your head to the tip of your toe. And as you are with this feeling of achievement, enjoy that feeling for a moment and slowly come back to this hall whenever you're ready. What I did now is just to take you back to a moment in history, your history. So what I did now is I just proved to you that communication is very powerful. With a few words, I could take you back to that moment where you achieved something. And I also told you that communication is what happens in the mind of the other person. It happened in your mind. Now, how can you do this? It is possible by using certain techniques and tools to develop your sensory acuity. Now, what do I mean by sensory acuity? It is your ability to sense the things that are happening in and around you. First, you learn to do it yourself, and then you do it with others. How do you do that? Simple. You observe more. You start seeing more. Now, when you see more, you will start seeing changes in other people's faces. You will start seeing actions that they are doing with their body. You hear more. And when you hear more, what happens? You will start listening to their words, and you see that there is a definite pattern of words that they are using. And then you start feeling more. And when you feel more, you will start seeing the pattern of feelings that is being displayed by the people. Whenever a communication is given to them, people respond, and when people respond with the communication, there is a behavioral manifestation of the internal image that they have. And that behavioral manifestation you start learning. We at Success Unlimited do that, train people, and help them to achieve super goals in their life. Thank you very much.
Next trainer on stage is Mr. Srishan. I invite Srishan. Mr. Srishan will be handing over the certificate and the mug. Okay, now this, you might be wondering, what is this memento? This is a very interesting mug. It says that I have presented at Trainer's Talk. So this is the compliment. Okay, so Srishan will be handing over the memento and certificate to Mr. Benny Judge. Here. So next person on stage, he's already on stage, Mr. Srishan. He's a trainer from Kannur, once again. Lots of Kannur trainers over here. So he's going to talk to us about change your thoughts, change your life. He is an international trainer specialized in corporate training and soft skills. He's also a hypnotic counselor, and he has conducted a lot of programs, not just in India, but also in Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Dubai, etc. So over to you, Mr. Srishan.
Can you please stand up, everybody, please, 1 minute. With a smile, stand up with a smile. And stand in pair. Look in your friend's face, both of your face, and say hello. Say hello to your friend. And give a shake hand. Give a shake hand with smile. How you feel now? Better? Please sit down. Please sit down. Okay. Today, I am going to talk about change your thoughts and change your life. How many of you want to become successful in life? Raise your hand. How many of you want to be successful? Are you sure you become successful already? Anybody 100% successful man? Can you raise your hand? I think very rare. People are, no, everybody is not successful. What is the reason? Let us see how we can become successful, how we can change our mind, change our thoughts, and become successful in life. That's a topic today. So, I am going to tell you, change your thoughts and you can change your world. If you give love, what you are going to get back? Love or hatred? You will get love, isn't it? So, when you change your thoughts, you are transforming your life. You are transforming the world. So, a person is successful, we call a person successful, he is going to be, for example, a person is very rich. Do you think he is successful? No. For example, Dhirubhai Ambani have billions of dollars, one of the richest man in India, but one side is paralyzed. So his health was very bad. So he is able to enjoy his wealth? No. So if you can say that you are 100% successful, you must be in good health. Then you can say you are successful. And similarly, if you are wealthy, if you are very wealthy, you can say you are successful. But if you have a lot of money, you have good health, but in the end of the day, you are going back to your house. Your wife is not talking to you, always fighting. There is any happiness there? There is no happiness. So, if you have very good family relations, you can say you are successful. So, then you can look at the social life. Socially, if you are good, you can say you are successful. And similarly, if you have a good spiritual life, you are one of the best successful person in this world. Now look at this wheel of life. How many of you know about the wheel of life? Yes, most of you know the wheel of life. Do you think the first one is good for you or the second wheel? Which wheel is good for you? if you want to go ahead, a circle is needed, isn't it? But are you sure? If you keep your hands on your heart, and are you able to say that this wheel is perfect? How many people have the perfect wheel of life? How many people have the perfect wheel? It's very difficult, isn't it? But you must know how to raise your wheel of life, make it perfect. I think your health, your spiritual life, whatever I say, should be perfectly well. Then only you are successful. So now you can see, if you want to become successful, you must have good dreams. And your goals, you want to achieve goals, you must change your world. Because of lack of time, I am trying to close my presentation. So you try to break your comfort zone and do these 5 things. Make it the right mindset and right passion and right visualization and belief and action. I can assure you, your life becomes successful. Thank you very much.
I know these are topics which are quite in depth, so it's not possible to be presented in just 4 minutes, but that's what the contest is all about. So may I next invite Vijini Suraj, the trainer person who is going to talk next, trainer Vijini Suraj on stage, to hand over the memento to Srishan. So while Vijini is coming, I'll read out her profile. She was born and brought up in Mysore, and she has graduated in English literature, done Masters in Business Administration from Pondicherry. She is doing her PhD in NLP in education sector under Azim Premji Foundation. She's a certified life coach of Forum International Germany. She's also a certified master practitioner of NLP from ANLP Goa. So yes, next Vijini is on stage with her topic, and her topic is very interesting, which I also I'm keen to listen to. She's going to talk about quietude. So let's listen what she's going to talk.
Very warm good evening, all of you. And just take it, me as your friend. Suppose we have a very long break since we meet. How would you greet me? You would greet me like, "Hi Vijini, how are you? What are you doing? Where are you working now?" We must be thinking of what are the words we use and how we will greet and analyze the emotions we have and all. And the second situation, suppose we are interacting with a very little kid of 2 to 3 years of age, then how would you greet that baby? How would you talk to that baby? "Hi baby, how are you? Choo 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 choo," like this, right? There, we will not be having any analytic analysis on how we talk and what kind of emotions we are associating with that conversation and all. This is the first one is head-to-head communication, where intellectual communication is more prominent. And the second one, there is emotional communication, that we are talking from our heart with full of emotions. And this is the heart-to-heart communication. The rhythmic language or the music is the medium between heart-to-heart communication. And in the third situation, we all must be having some persons in our life where we are, at times we sit just near to them. We'll feel real tranquility inside our mind, even without uttering a word. We could sit with them for hours together, but we'll feel, even without telling something, we'll feel calm and quiet inside our mind. This is what means as quietude. It is silence. Silence is the communication between souls. Every human being, we need to go beyond this intellectual communication, emotional communication, intellectual communication and emotional communication, which is respectively related to heart and head and heart. And we need to go beyond these two levels of communication, and we need to move ahead. Silence, the real communication, where our soul find true happiness, the eternal happiness in our life. And we can just compare it with a calm and still lake without any ripples. We can see or reflect on that water. We can see, right? And we can see through the stone underneath the water. That also we can very clearly say if the water is calm and still. when our mind is like a calm and still lake, we could see the underneath, underlying deep within, underlying true potentials of a human being, and we can use that to meet our purpose of life. And in every minute, every day, 30 minutes we can sit for our reflection. That is, make our mind calm and still, and look into our images, what we were doing in all these 24 hours, and we can reflect 30 minutes. And we can plan 30 minutes in a day. So 30 minutes planning, 30 minutes reflection will make us truly focus on the soul, silence. So silence is every trainer, as a community, we trainers need to establish the connection with the participants with our heart, head and the soul. The soul level connection with the participants make us charismatic. So the message will be touching their heart, and the message our energy will be, the energy channel will be very clear, and we will be having abundance of cosmic energy, and we can transfer that to the participants, and we can really, just like the theme of the National Trainer Summit, we can transform the participants in a better way if we have that kind of tranquility within us. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Vijay. So, silence is golden. All right, so now the next person I'm going to invite, the next trainer is Mr. Bennett J. Ragland. Mr. Bennett would be handing over the memento to Vijay. Thank you. Mr. Bennett J. Ragland. I was like going through his profile, and I'm really surprised to know that he has 4 master's degree, he has 2 bachelor's degree, he has 9 diplomas ranging from cyber law to international economics and film technology. He has been the screenwriter and story writer for Tamil films like Satai, Pasanga and Pasanga 2. Those were 2, very, very, very famous movies, in fact. He has trained over 1 million candidates, 40,000 teachers and trainers, and over 3,000 speakers, 600 companies. And one, again, speciality about Mr. Bennett is that he has closely worked with Mr. Robin Sharma as well as Mr. Shiv Khera, very acclaimed international trainers. He has been assisting him. So welcome to Trainers Talk, Mr. Bennett J. Over to you.
Good evening. Good evening. When I raise my voice, you have to mild your voice. When I mild my voice, you have to raise your voice. Deal okay? Deal okay? Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good. Deal okay. Today I'm talking about life dynamics using NLP. That's what. I'm not going to take much of time. I would like to give you 8 types of profiles in life. That's all. Only 8 type of profile which we are encountering it. That's all. It's majorly we are concentrating of most probably what I'm just, my perception of life is 2 things. Value into leverage. Value is always comes from inside, leverage always comes from outside. Value is always a character and the leverage is always the influence. Most of the time 8 profiles combines with this value or the leverage, which gives you into, next slide sir. Next one. Yeah, most of the time will be like, value into leverage. Next one. The first three boxes will have 3 profiles, and that 3 profiles, next one. The first one is of you. Whenever you are alone, you are all your own. That is what the creator, which everybody will have the basic level of this. The next one, the family. I mean it as a mechanic. The mechanic means always, whenever I go to the mechanic, when will you go to the mechanic? Whenever the problem arises, we'll go to the mechanic. Whenever I get hurt, automatically I just go to the mom and just I'll cry and I'll just get confirmed, just I'll come back. And then the third one will be the career and the star. The star doesn't gives you the exact enchanting light at all when the sun presents. After the sun gets down, automatically the star comes. Even though we can say this sinister also. The career always gives you on a sinister also we can put into this way. The next thing will be leverage, the pure leverage. These three things, these three profiles will be into a value, which is the formation of the character. The values characters, and then comes up into accumulator, the academics. Whenever we go to schools, they used to teach us most of the things, and we get something, and we automatically warm it in the paper, and this we'll throw it out. Then automatically we'll learn something from college, automatically we warm it out. Then comes up, it goes on an accumulation process. Next comes up on a job or a business. It's purely in a trading process. I'm trading my time. Again, I'm telling you this. Whenever I go to the job, I'm trading my whole of my time. The employer is paid for me, not only for my performance on a skill, for time also. That is purely in a trading process. Next one. And the last final thing will be into deal making. What do you mean by deal making? Closing the agreements and start up of an agreement. The friendship comes on this. Whenever I ask my people, anybody, why do you keep him as a friend of you, man? He always listens to me. That is why I keep him as my friend. So somebody has to have a deal-making process. Somebody has to listen to you, and somebody has to share every thoughts to other people. All these things will be there. All this, next one, sir. Next. That's good. The value will be 50% and the leverage will be 50%. Two profiles out of this 8 profile, 2 profiles will be different things. Your Lord and my Lord is my health and your health. I do agree on that too. And another profile we have is a supporter. When will you go to the God? Please, thanks. When will you go to the God? Whenever I'm not able to do anything else, I'll go to my God. And I'll ask him that do me something favorable for me, and I'll ask you. That is of supporter. With all the process, 8 profiles, we can live our life happily. That is what Pasanga said. Pasanga film says that. Thanks on this.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett.
Thank you.
So now I'm inviting Dr. Sitaram Dhandhani on stage. He is the next Trainer Talk presenter, and he would be handing over the memento and the certificate to Mr. Bennett. Thank you. Now we have Dr. Sitaram Dhandhani on stage. He is a doctorate from Presidency College. He has around 10 years of experience as a trainer, and he's a human performance expert who has been helping professionals across leading corporates in stress management. He has also been helping senior students in confidence coaching. Over to you, Dr. Sitaram.
Hello to all. What is the difference between a wish and a will? There is only one word which is the difference between a wish and a will. And the word is totality. Totality makes a wish a will. Now the point is, what is this totality? Modern human has become fragmented. We have become part. Our mind is somewhere else, our body is somewhere else, and our emotions are always suppressed. Now, this has led us into a stressful situation, and this is the reason we are not able to reach to our desired destinations in life. So, what is needed to reach to our desired destination? First, a physical body which is full of energy. For that, 6 basic things are required: air, water, sunlight, exercise, rest, and diet. These are 6 basic things which are required by the physical body, and this is the only vehicle which can take us to our desired destinations in life. Then comes our mind, which is the virus in the whole system. Mind, 90% of our thoughts are repetitive, useless, and harmful. We sleep in the night. Our physical body rests, but not our mind. It keeps on dreaming. The mind is functioning in the dream. So we require, what is meditation? Meditation is nothing. It is just coming out from the bombardment of this material world for a while to balance ourselves. Balance rules the cosmos. Physical imbalance is sickness. Mental imbalance is stress. And emotional imbalance is unhappiness. Everywhere we need to balance. So man has lost balance with the nature. And nature has no obligations to balance with us. It is we who have to balance with the nature. Now the point is, the day we bring the physical, mental and emotional body in line, then life becomes much more easier, healthier, happier and productive. And we reach our goals very easily. Moreover, this totality, we dream, and dreams don't take us to our goal. We have to visualize. In dream, we imagine. In visualization, we reach the place. So the point is, we have to visualize where we want to go. It is not from where I have come. It is where I am going that is more important. मंजिलें उन्हीं को मिलती है जिनके सपनों में जान होती है. पंखों से कुछ नहीं होता, हौसलों से उड़ान होती है. A small bird flies very high. A big peacock having very big wings. How high can a peacock fly? So the point is, when you start understanding things, then fear automatically goes out. Right? Cheers to health, happiness and productivity to all.
Thank you, Dr. Sitaram. May I invite trainer Manohar Menon onto stage? Okay, so now I think for Mr. Sitaram, may I invite Nirmala to please hand over the memento. Mr. Nobin Matai, please come on stage. Mr. Manohar Menon, you were actually called. Where did you go? Please come on. Okay, first we'll have Manohar on stage, and the next is Nobin. So Manohar is a consultant trainer for various organizations. He works all over Kerala, working for different kinds of training organizations. He has an MBA from MBA in International Business and Marketing from IIBM New Delhi and several other qualifications. He is also a certified trainer on Law of Attraction from Golden Inspirations New Delhi. Over to you, Mr. Manohar Menon.
Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I will be excused. Right. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, once again. My topic is just like what you see on the screen, that is richness. I am under the perception that you all are rich, so in that platform, let me take off. Okay, so let me have some glimpses about richness from you. Can you just, anybody? Hello, what is richness? Are you rich or poor? Rich, okay. Any idea about richness? Hello. I will not give you much time. Any idea about richness? Please? Hello. Yeah. Is money matters? If you say, I will say that you are unconsciously biased. Just like what Mrs. Tharoor has talked to you at morning. We were discussing that subject, no? Unconscious bias at morning. So if you are saying that money is the matter for being rich, absolutely it will be some kind of bias, right? Okay. Is Dawood Ibrahim rich? Let me hear it very, very properly and loudly. Is Dawood Ibrahim rich? Huh? My God. Is Vijay Mallya rich? Then why Dawood Ibrahim? Okay, see, if a lactating mother feed her baby, and while he or she sleeps and smiles slightly, the mother forgetting the entire world and all entire concerns in her life and about her husband, about all concerns, is that mother rich? That's what. Thank you. You are in the right concept. So let's see some kind of, in Malayalam there is a good song also. Supnathilennunni punjirikum amadukkangalallam marannirikkum omanathingal kidavu paadi paadi. I hope you remember that. Right? Right. Okay, let's see constructively, let's structure, what is the structure for that, or constructively let's listen to that. Okay, I'll take you through. Rich by health. Rich by health. If you feel you are rich, but you should have good health. So let's see the pillars of health. 4 pillars of health. That is optimal health. What is the optimal health? 4 pillars. That is physical exercise, adequate physical exercise, adequate rest and relaxation, positive mental attitude, and proper nutrition. And of course, you can practice anti-aging or reverse your aging. If I am 45, now I am visualizing for 34. Okay, right. Now, rich by wealth. These are all the combination which make you rich, right? So the second point is physical asset, rich by wealth. So that comes to the physical assets that you possess. Okay, and at the same time, if you do not have, you can visualize for that, dream for that. Okay, now connected networks, very, very important, and at the same time, it's a very big subject. Okay, in the modern interviews and all, in the high-level management interviews and all, what people ask is that what's the size of your networks? Your size of your network determines your net worth. Okay, now what's that? Okay, now, rich by prosperity. Are you prosper? Sarva Aishwaryangalu, right? So, enjoying your profession, job, business, present activity, and creates revenue or not. Okay, then rich in thinking, your level of thinking. Then next is vision. The world, what we see now is a product of vision, where many great visionaries that have created. Even rich in character. If reputation is lost, something is lost, everybody knows. If character is lost, everything is lost. Okay, so you should be rich in character. No, rich in people. Be rich by being in the mind of your mentor. You should be in the mind of your mentor. Okay, having a good associations, and at the same time, again, having a great networks. Your networks determines your net worth. Okay, so your net worth is, Then the salt story. If some, of course, next point. Next point is, I am rich. And if you can close and repeat these words, I am the light I seek, I am the happiness I desire, I am the true love I feel missing, I am the unlimited abundance I crave for. Then you can be rich. You can feel that you're rich and nothing else. Okay? So, by this, I don't wish you be rich, but I see that you're rich. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Manohar. We have, can I have Mr. Nobin Matai on stage? Trainer Nobin Matai, who is going to present next on stage. Nobin Matai, please hand over the memento and certificate to Manohar Menon. Thanks, Manohar. And Nobin Matai, he is a young trainer. He has a BCom degree as well as a diploma in psychological counseling. He is from Pathanamthitta, and he has around 8 years of experience in training and development, human resource management, public relations, and customer service. He is proactive in assessing the learning and development needs through the analysis of existing level of competencies. And he is primarily into sales and related trainings. Yes, Mr. Nobin Matai, he is going to talk to us today about transformation.
Thank you so much. I request your valuable 5 minutes. In that, I require your great support for 1 minute of activity just by being in your seats. Okay. Can you please, are you ready for a small activity? No sound is there, please. Thank you. Okay, so small instruction is there. Initially, I will ask you one question. Can you please answer? Just give a fast answer because my time is just 4 minutes. In a 60-second of time, how many times can you clap? This is a common or a general question asked in trainer sessions. Okay, can you please say faster from backside, louder? How many times in 60 seconds? 30, yeah. Louder, faster, please. 60, 70, oh my God, good, thank you. Now we are going for a practical session where we are going to see what you can do in 60 seconds of time. Okay, the instruction is this: you have to just invest full energy and maximum you have just 60 seconds to put out your full energy, and you should not stop till 1 minute. Okay, so put your hands together, just a minute. Okay, your time starts now. Clap faster, maximum fast. Please count how much times you are clapping. Please, faster, please, faster. 40 more seconds, faster. Please count down how much times you can do. Is it just 30, 60, 90 or more than that? Come on, 35 seconds more. Come on, faster. Please, make it fast. Keep counting. You are going to do multitasking right now. Please, faster. 25 seconds more, faster. Energy going down, faster. Pump up. Faster. Now you can see it is 13, 12, 10, 9, 8, faster. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Now, is it 30? I can't hear you. Is it 30? Now, what is the number? More than 100? 160. Please give me a big round of applause, please. I can know that from the students' backs or backside, it is more than 200. Right? Anybody who is more than 200? Very good. Now, think. One small question. Who is pulling back you from your destination of success? Who is pulling back you from the destination of your success? Much more louder, please. Yes, it's we or I or you, that is who is pulling back your success. We underestimate ourselves that we are not good at all anything. Am I right? Yes. That is a bad thing which we pull out to the next generation, including me 6 years back. Now I have a 2 years kid. I am in a strategy where she is going to live in her life. She is enjoying her life. Just 2 years, she will do whatever she requests. That is what I wish to do. Now, go back to your home. Think that. Are you successful? If not, who is pulling you back? You have to change yourself. And one more thing, the closing one, just to remind you that a quote from Mr. Jalaluddin Rumi. He said one famous quote, who is a Persian writer and a Persian poet, lived in 13th century, stating that you were born with potential, you were born with wings, you were born with dreams, ideals, but you are still crawling. Am I right? Am I right? Are we still crawling or are we flying? Have a self-assessment. We are still crawling. So my dear friends, learn how to fly above all and above all obstacles. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I think you don't have to clap because he has made you clapping for over 1 minute. Brilliant. Thank you. So, so the next person on stage is Mr. Suyash, but Suyash is your colleague, right? So I would request Satish sir to please hand over the memento. Satish sir, please hand over the memento and certificate to Nobin. Meanwhile, Suyash can come over. Yes. So Suyash, Nobin, and one more person, Anish, they are all from Popular Automobiles. They are trainers there. So we have Suyash George on stage right now. He's an MBA graduate. He has over 9 years of experience into automobile as well as in soft skill training. And he runs a training institution for kids from the age of 4 to 16 into personality development for young people. So that's about Suyash George. Suyash, what are you going to talk about? Yes, he's going to talk about personality, a very important factor. Over to you.
Thanks a lot, Chandra. Yeah, good evening, everybody. As I was properly introduced, so I don't want another introduction on me. I don't want to waste time. Let me come to straight away my topic, personality. It's just like Diana ma'am has taken some important topics. I'm just going to extend it, nothing else. So what is personality? Let me start with that. Anybody? It's a very simple topic, personality. You don't have to all have question marks in their faces, please. What is personality? Okay, good, sir, thanks. Anybody else? How about a new students? What is personality? So I'm not stretching it out. What is personality? It's a sum total of a person behavior and interaction on matters he approaches. It's a sum total of interactions and the reaction what he gives at the time of on a situations. Okay, does a small child have a personality or not? Next question. ഉണ്ട് ഉണ്ട് ഇല്ല ഉണ്ട് എത്ര പേര് ഉണ്ടെന്ന് പറയുന്നത് എത്ര പേര് ഇല്ലെന്ന് പറയുന്നത് എല്ലാവർക്കും ഉണ്ടെന്നാണ് ഓക്കെ ഗുഡ് ഫൈൻ does a lion have a personality lion why is lion called the king of jungle because of its personality that is so easy way of putting it we have all studied in our earlier ages lion is called the king of the jungle എന്തിന് our teachers didn't taught us അന്ന് absent ആയിരുന്നു okay so lion has different characters to its personality very important characters which is a big topic on why lion is called a king of the jungle why earth rotates around its axis it's all has a different perspectives to it but as a personality situation when we take only a person who reacts very good in his negative situations has a good personality. Njan Ravale, if my wife prepares some good food, if she doesn't prepare a good food and I have to take somebody or I have to break my head in the dosha undakirikkunna why not chapati, I break my whole day starting itself. So let me put it in a different way. On personality, it's something like positive approach in negative situation. How many pain you can take in the situations which you handle? How many pains? Its pain is directly related to positive approaches in negative situation. If you take a good approach in negative situation, you have a very simple good personality. You don't have to search personality anywhere else. So how do we break down it? With happy peoples and not happy peoples. Happy people cooperate with life. They don't just think positive, but they act positively. People ask what they need. People are willing to change. They don't dwell in past. They live in present and plan ahead. These are what major characteristics of personality comes in. And avoid fear. Avoid fear, money. You can avoid, as my friend, colleague took, thank you ma'am, as my colleague has told about fear in podium. So fear can be defined in two ways, forget everything and run or face everything and rise. Any way you handle it, it is a personality of yours. And last, choice is yours. Once lost opportunity is always a gain of another. It's a simple choice. if you want to lose your opportunity, it will be a simple gain for another to come up. Thank you very much.
So last but never the least, that was Mr. Suyash George on stage. With that, we are concluding our trainer's talk, but we need to invite the jury onto the stage and listen to them how the session was. May I invite Ms. Diana Dentinger, Mr. Shamim Rafiq, as well as Mr. Vipin Roldent onto the stage. So since Suyash was the last person, you have a special honor. Diana would be handing over the certificate to you. Please come to the middle. Yes, so I invite or rather request one by one to actually give your comments and whatever you have in your mind. Okay, I'll go. But don't disclose the winners.
No. Okay, super duper. Thank you for all the contestants. It isn't easy to be on stage if it's not your natural habitat. You know, sort of like eagles fly in the sky, and that's their natural habitat, dolphins in the water. So it's not always a comfortable place. So, do you prefer positive first or negative first? Negative. Okay. So I would say, as a future comment, especially in other maybe talks that you give, when you have 4 minutes, what I noticed in a lot of people is they wanted to get the audience involved, but 4 minutes is pretty short. So I think that some of the speakers probably wasted, if you want to put it that way, they wasted a little bit of content time in trying to get audience involvement. I would, suggest that if you have more than 15 minutes, then get, audience involvement, because I saw that then there's sort of the rushing up to get the content. Content positive now. I found the content very stimulating. Everyone has their own personal story that they brought to what they do. And you could see that really everyone really loves what they do. So big congratulations, and we'll reveal the winners tomorrow. So thank you very much.
Good evening. There's no energy here. Good evening. Well, how many of you are trainers here? Teachers, coaches. Wonderful. I think this part of the world, we always go, I'm also in your fraternity, we go around, we motivate people, we encourage people, we respect people, but very few people call trainers and respect. I thought ISTD and this wonderful Train for Trainers tomorrow has taken this great initiative. I think we should give a thunder round of applause to them for giving us this opportunity to come together. Well, I'm sure all of us, including me, we all aspire to be great trainers, yes or no? We all aspire to be great trainers. Well, if you ask me, we had fabulous presentations from all 16, 17 contestants, but to me, if you want to be a great trainer, let's just talk about one person today. And well, Chandra, don't worry, it's not about a contestant. That 18-year-old wonderful Mutashi. And to me, she was a winner today. She was a winner today. If you ask me, I was keen, I was curious, I had curiosity and I was watching. You want to be a great trainer? You just see how confidently she stepped in here. I think each and every time when I say this, if you agree with me, you're going to clap for her. Are you with me? She had confidence. Yes or no? Continuous learning. Break the rule. She's going to learn drums. Wonderful. She's going to think big, and she's going to have a world record of 10,000 people on May 1st. What an energy. And look at, she involved audience. Agree with me? She made one person to come here. Humility, Elima Vinayam. Think out of the box. After her retirement, she started thinking something which people don't dare to do. Agree or not? She's a performer. She could dance with Diana here. And look at this now. She sticked on with her time allocated. She moved away gracefully. That's what a great trainers do. And that's the lesson for all of us sitting here today, which we will learn from this 18-year-old beautiful Mutashi. To me, That was a challenge, like Diana said. The trainers did extremely well. Unfortunately, 4 minutes. I don't think all of us, the topics which we probably brought in was for a whole day. And how do you conclude in 4 minutes? I know, that's a challenge. SR is here. Anybody in Rotary here? A lot of people I know, Joe sir is there. We have a great challenge when we run conferences, assembly. We invite people, we will tell them 5 minutes. They will say, perfect. And some of them, when they get on, we need to go, we are ready with 5 slips. Slip number 1, slip number 2, slip number 5. And there are people who will look into the 5th slip and say, yes, I'm coming to this topic. I remember there was a district assembly, I don't know, SR was there, Edge. I was supposed to be the anchor coordinator, and we had a great person. We all had this problem whether he will run away, whether he will leave this mic or not. So as an anchor, people came to me and said, Shamim, you get worried only about this guy. How do you manage? You decide. I had absolutely no clue. I went to him personally and politely said, sir, 5 minutes. It was going on well, and everyone was looking at me, how will you manage this guy? I still remember exactly at 5th minute, he stopped and moved away. And people came to me and said, well done, how did you manage? I could see people showing like this. If I tell the name, he will know, otherwise I would have said. People were congratulating me and I myself got confused. How this guy stopped? This guy came to my street and I said, amazing technology, you scared me. I said, I scared you? What technology you used? Because the computer, some pop-up came and asked me to stop. I thought, what the hell was that? Later in the break, I went and I saw the pop-up was antivirus expired. And this guy got shocked thinking that something has expired, so they will kick me out. So I thought, as speakers, probably we need to stick on the allocated time. Agree with me? I think that's very important. You know, like that Mutaji, if all of us aspire to be great trainers, all those wonderful people, can you all stand up please? All those wonderful presenters who made the presentation, let's give a thunder round of applause to them. There are no winners for me. They all did extremely well. Well done. Within your time allocated, you did well. To me, all of you are winners. But somebody has to take home tomorrow. They will announce. So let me wish good luck to all of you, all the trainers. Yeah. After this, probably all the winners can come forward and we'll take a good picture. So let me wish good luck to all those wonderful trainers and aspiring trainers. God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Anyway, it was a great honor for me to be here with the wonderful panel. And of course, this 4 minutes is not enough for a wonderful performance, but definitely the trainers who took this challenge and came forward and operated through their methodologies, that was super. Friends, actually we are using or utilizing the opportunity because those who presented here, you were in the platform of ISTD, you are in the platform of National Trainers Summit. Definitely, there are lots of areas to be corrected or to be fine-tuned, but there are miles to go. Even with a new trainer, junior trainer or a senior trainer, definitely we have many things to fine-tune. At the same time, we have our own capacities and capabilities that we definitely found through the presentations. I wish all success for the future endeavors and once again, sharing the gratitude towards ISTD, T40 and all organizers towards this powerful and loving invitation to be the part of this. Best wishes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vipin. Now, I would like to present the memento and the pleasantries to all the juries. Please stand in the middle. May I request Diana to hand over the mementos, please. Go. Yep. Yeah, Diana has already got one. So, so now request yourself to please hand over to both Shamim as well as Mr. Vipin. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Now, may I request all the Trainer Talk presenters to come over for a quick group photo. Come, run. So, meanwhile, I want all the audience, if you are using social media, either Facebook or Twitter, you have an opportunity to win a surprise gift, not today, tomorrow, for which you have to tweet or put your pictures as well as tweet whatever you want on Facebook, either Facebook or Twitter. Use the hashtag T40 Summit 2K17. That is the hashtag. Please use that. You have a surprise gift tomorrow waiting for you. You can also take selfies. The selfie corner is set outside. Please use the hashtag so that you get a surprise gift tomorrow. May I invite Joe sir as well as Nirmala? Joe sir, Nirmala madam, please on stage, please. Just for a quick photo. These are all trainers who had presented today. I think we should give them one more round of applause. They have done their best, to keep us informed. So we have not concluded. We have one more presentation. No, sorry, two more presentations. This is a corporate presentation. We have a presentation by Aster Medicity as well as one more company. So this will be happening right away. This will be considered as part of the Innovative Training Practice Award nomination. So may I invite Miss Bindu Nambishan from Aster Medicity. She is the head of L&D from Aster. Bindu on stage.
Hello, good evening. I just seem to have the dubious, pleasure of tailing this day. So I hope that you'll stick with me. I'm presenting Aster Medicity's L&D department. How many trainers here? Can I see a show of hands, please? Okay. How many of us think that it's a thankless job? It's a thankless job. Oh, there's one person there who thinks it's a thankless job. The truth of the matter is that I've been a trainer for the past, can I have the handheld? Okay, I'll just continue. So L&D, Learning and Development, is an enabling department, and there have been several moments where you felt that you don't really have full control of, yes.
Look at the front.
Yes.
Hello, S.R. Nair.
Yes.
You're judge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Mr. Soman, you're judge.
Hi.
10 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you.
So I'm not up to 10 minutes yet. I've barely begun. It hasn't even started. Yeah. Okay. Yeah?
So I'll give you 10 more minutes now.
Thank you so much. I'm hoping that the pointer works. Yeah, which is why I'm ad-libbing. So where was I? Yes. So Aster Medicity is a quaternary care hospital, and what with the cost of stents having been slashed across the government, you know that every CEO is now wondering, what sets them apart and how they're going to make business happen. So it just so emerges that service excellence, or the kind of quality of service that you render at the point of continuum of care, is what is going to set you apart. Is there any way the slides can come up? Okay, can I have the next slide? So L&D in Aster Medicity comprises of 4 people. I head it. I'm AGM Learning and Development. I am assisted by 2 trainers and 1 coordinator. We take care of the entire training needs of about 2,800 employees, and we follow various kinds of methodology to do that. Most of it is instructor-led training, but we have now introduced e-learning as well to ensure that we leverage on technology and make training more cost-effective and not be consistently seen as a cost center. One of the things that we are extremely proud of in terms of our innovation that we have done in the past 2 years is our onboarding program, which is what I wanted to present here. The onboarding program, you must understand, because in a typical hospital setup such as Aster Medicity, you have a completely mixed bag. You have a mixed bag in the sense, the intellectual acumen, right from the doctors, to nurses, to the housekeepers, to security. All of them have a role to play when it comes to impacting patient experience. So that's one. Second is geography. We've drawn on talent from everywhere. We've drawn from, like somebody said, reverse brain drain, coming from United Kingdom, USA, returning doctors. So it's a completely different setup altogether. I come from software, and having come from software, I realized that it's very, very important to walk the talk, and an egalitarian culture is something that we were looking to strive for.
Ma'am, I think you have a absolute discomfort because your PPT is not
I'm fine. I'm okay.
Do you think that you can do it without PPT?
Yes, I'm doing it. Am I not?
Okay, right. Or I am planning to
good.
give you
Yes, thank
another
you.
option in case you want the PPT to work.
That's fine. That's fine. As long as you're getting what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Otherwise, in case you want, we can give an opportunity tomorrow morning.
That's fine. I had asked for it in the beginning, but it didn't happen. So I'm going to just go with the flow. That's fine.
Yeah.
So, L&D seems to have a role to play. And apart from service excellence, it's also the culture that you build in an organization, the acculturization. And onboarding, we have christened it AMAP, Aster MedCity Acclimatization Program. So how do you bring people from different intellectual backgrounds, from different geographies, from different qualifications onto the same board and commit to a certain common vision, mission, and value system? And so it was very easy, to get the nurses on board. It was very easy to get the administrators on board. It was very easy to get most of the people on board. It wasn't easy getting the doctors on board. So while we were running these onboarding programs, I happened to see a bunch of white coats walking around in the organization. I said, what's happening there? And somebody said that they are onboarding doctors. I said, how come they're not in our program? That they will not come. I said, why wouldn't they come? Because, that's how it is. They get onboarded separately. I said, so if we say that we have a common vision and a common mission and we have a common value system, shouldn't we all be onboarded together? And well, one thing is that L&D cannot work on its own. L&D needs leadership support. L&D needs teeth and muscle from the function heads. So networking is so important, and they need to see the value of it. Having said that, we were able to change the policy and say that everyone gets onboarded together. In Aster MedCity, regardless of who you are, where you're from, whatever baggage that you're carrying from, or the legacy, depending, that you're carrying from the earlier organization, you come and you attend and experience the brand exactly like everybody else. So everybody comes together, there's a joining date, everybody is welcomed together. There's a huge investment in terms of leadership. The CEO makes sure that he chalks his calendar to, he spends almost 2 hours with a new hire. We spend about 5 days with every single new hire to ensure that the person is acclimatized. And the best thing is that we also follow it up with a departmental onboarding strategy. We ask simple questions like, do you have a place to sit? Have you met your supervisor? Do you know where the cafeteria is? Do you have friends that you can sit with? Has somebody explained your quality indicators? Are you aware of your KPIs? Basically, are you comfortable? We do this from a department of 4. We also take into account the contract staff, which means the security, the housekeepers, simple things like communication expectations, grooming expectations, so on and so forth. We are incredibly proud of the journey that we have made over the past 2 years, and it's a pity. I would have loved to show you my slides, because then you would have had, oh, okay. So is it okay if I just jump to the AMAP slides? Yeah. You'll have to go next quite a bit. I mean, that's Aster MedCity for you. We are very, very well connected. Next, please. You can just keep going. That's our vision, mission, and values. I've covered most of this. Keep going, please. Keep going. Just keep going. So, one of the back slide, the team caters to the learning requirements about 2,800 employees, including contract staff. And from Jan 2016 to December 2016, my department has trained 2,623 employees over 1,728 hours. Something that I think is pretty noteworthy. 1,000. 1,000 are contract staff. And can we continue, please? Next slide. So that's the entire scope and span of my learning and development department. There's cultural and contextual training, organizational development, and performance support. Next slide, please. Yeah, you can just keep going because, keep going ahead, please. Next slide. These are the courses that we offer. Next slide. That's my nursing competency framework. It actually accommodates a career span of 15 years from a new nurse to the role of a chief nursing officer. Next slide, please. That's some of the program overview. Next slide. You can keep going ahead, please. These are the doctors. So we've come a long way from, doctors having isolated existence to actually becoming a part and parcel of a common vision and mission and value system. We ensure that they have a good time in the training program, and we match their intellectual acumen through the content and through the way we deliver. So that's a whole bunch of doctors. Go forward, please. You can, yeah. So that's AMAP for you. Next slide, please. Go ahead, go ahead. So that's Dr. Harish Pillai. This is another innovative thing. We have something known as the breakfast with the CEO. So we break down the middle level. So no managers, no senior managers. The CEO gets an opportunity to have breakfast with the grassroots people. So he gets in-depth information of what's going on and things that he can work on. Ahead. We have a blog. Ahead. Ahead. So this is what I was telling you, the complexity, different geographies, different organizational legacies, different intellectual levels, different skill sets and complexities which come together to form the Aster MedCity employee base. Ahead, please. So the way we do it is communicate, standardize, and connect. We ensure that there's a welcome program. We standardize, keep going. We standardize it, and then the brand experience is complete, and this is how we connect. Through the welcome program, through the introduction to the leadership, introduction to supervisor, introduction to team, and the facility tour. So essentially, I think that this is quite groundbreaking, at least in the healthcare setup, because not everybody has a program such as this, and it's definitely not as inclusive. It is inclusive to the extent that 100% of the employees undergo this training, undergo the onboarding program. 100%, whether you're a neurosurgeon or you're a housekeeper, whoever it is, we have a process, and it has stood the test of time for the past 3 years. So thank you very much for your time. Have the rest of the evening, I hope, is pleasant and good. Bye.
Wait, don't go away, please.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh, okay.
You're actually doing it. I think, because the other presentation that was being done for the trainers was no questions asked.
Yeah, please
Since
go
it's
ahead.
a corporate one, we have some questions.
Please go
We're
ahead.
like, oh, that is right. Thank you very much. Essentially, you have been presenting on the onboarding activities, predominantly most of it.
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you have a KM system in place at your place?
A knowledge management system. Yes. Well, it's not really something that we want to tell the world about because, it's just at the nascent stages. We are just 2.5 years old.
Okay.
So I'm an instructional designer, so there's a lot of impetus that is placed on, content development. Most of our content is developed in-house because we believe in customization, because we know our customer better than anybody else, the internal customer. So yes, it's very primitive. We have shared folders, we have content that is diversified, and we're working on it. So
how much of technology application have been done on your KM and learning and development program?
Not something that I want to, still tom-tom about, but we do have an LMS. It is a Moodle-based LMS. We have a learning management system. So we do have, attendance capture and tracking. We are also a JCI accredited hospital,
Yes.
So because we are NABH and JCI accredited hospital, we need to be audit ready at all points in time. And they use something known as the tracer methodology. So you just pick up an employee ID and say, show me this person's training history, and we need to be able to do that. So yes, we do have an LMS. We have our content, which is, there is a content repository.
Most of this training that you're conducting is essentially time and place based. Is there any time, anywhere, any platform
Yes,
based?
we are in the process of developing e-learning solutions, but they are, customized to, right now, compliance training programs like hazardous material, fire and safety, infection control, things that are really close to the skin. And we already have the subject matter expertise in-house to be able to do that. So yes, this year, we've been working on it all of this year, but another week or so, we'll be launching it.
Last question.
Go ahead.
How are you getting evaluated?
Me as the head
Yeah.
of learning and
Yeah.
development, I have my quality indicators for the organization that has been given to me. So for example, the percentage of onboarding, the KPI adherence. So I have my own set of KPIs, which are across 4 parameters.
Okay.
One is, the PNL management, because we are primarily a cost center.
Yeah.
We are hoping to turn into revenue generation with time. The customer management, which is my internal customer, community connect, the way I connect with the community, and processes, how I manage my processes. So these are the 4 parameters that I get, everyone actually. in Aster
Have you
Medcity.
gone through an year of evaluation already? No. Or
Of course.
You have already. How many years into learning and development is our Aster Medcity now?
From the very beginning.
So it's about
I
how
was
many-
hired in 2013.
So it's
We
about
launched in 2014. So
4
from
years.
inception itself, we have been
4 years of.
Yes.
So that means every year you are also
4
undergoing.
to 2.5, no?
13.
2013 is when I was hired. 2014 we were launched.
Okay, so 2 years.
Yes.
So these 2 years you also underwent the evaluation based on what?
Yes, every year one goes through an evaluation. It's a part of the appraisal system.
No, I'm not asking. I'm asking related to the L&D.
Yes.
You get evaluated.
Yes, I get evaluated.
Thank you very much.
You're
All the
most
best. to you.
welcome. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. I can't hear you. I'm so sorry, sir. Everyone is aligned. See, for example, the beginning of my year starts with a training need identification, like it does in every other organization. And we have specific learning calendars for nurses, for doctors, and the allied administrative staff. So for doctors, yes, there is continued medical education. And for nurses, there's continued nursing education. And we do a lot of other interesting stuff as well. We have Zumba, we have yoga, we have arts, we have,
They are also,
dances,
they are
we
all,
have all
excuse
of
me,
that.
they are also coming into the KPI of the.
Yes,
these-
we have medical KPI, clinical KPIs for them. They don't fall under the same KPIs as us, but we have a dictionary of about 400 clinical KPIs that they can.
Excellent.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, Bindu Nambishri. So sorry for the technical hitch in the beginning because of certain issues with this thing. Yes, that was a long day. We have come to the end of the day 1 of Trainers for Tomorrow National Trainer Summit. Tomorrow, we are starting at 9:45 a.m. I would request all to be here so that we can start right on time, which is 10 a.m. 10 a.m. we have a panel discussion on corporate L&D, post which we have interesting sessions of which training stories which you will never want to miss. We also have a panel discussion on e-learning, which is the upcoming, the new gen learning. And the valedictory ceremony where the award winners would be announced. So that was day 1. Anyone would like to come forward and say something? Okay. So let's all rise for the national anthem. Thank you and good night, everyone.